Chapter 2035. Qing Kai was not willing to drink it. No matter how Qing Shi tried to persuade him, he would not drink it. He kept saying that there were other ways to cure the poison and that Sima Yue did it on purpose. Even if he drank it, it would not have any effect. If it doesn't work, we will go find her. Qing Cheng shouted. If you don't drink it now, no one will care about you in the future. Qing Cheng shouted. Qing Kai calmed down under his grandfather's glare. The only person he was afraid of was his grandfather. Once he got angry, even his heart would tremble. Moreover, he was afraid that they would not care about him. So, with great reluctance, he had to agree. The pill was still the same pill, but this time, there was a disgusting medicinal ingredient. He swallowed the pill and forced himself to drink a bowl of urine. After drinking it, he almost vomited. Grandfather, I feel that it is the same as the previous 2 times. There is no difference at all. He held back his disgust and shouted. There is one more bowl. Yuling reminded him. Drink the other bowl too. Qing Cheng said. Qing Kai held back his disgust and drank the other bowl as well. He wanted to vomit after drinking it. You better not vomit. If it affects the effect of the medicine, you will be the one at a disadvantage. You will have to eat it again. Yuling's words made Qing Kai swallow the vomit back down his throat. He was already disgusted. If he drank it again, he would collapse. They waited for a while. When Qing Cheng lost her patience and was about to go find Sima Yue to settle the score, Qing Kai finally reacted. After resting for half a year, his second son was finally able to support the heavens again. Grandfather, father, it seems like it really worked. That feeling is back. Qing Kai cried out. At this moment, he felt his entire body heating up. His lower body was extremely swollen and painful. He wanted to immediately find someone to relieve it. Yuling, check if Kai Er's poison is really cured. Qing Shi said. He still could not believe it. How could the poison be cured after adding 2 bowls of urine? Yuling also felt that it was strange. She checked Qing Kai and said with certainty, it is indeed cured. What is the principle behind this? There are only 2 more bowls. How could it be cured? I think it should be the hidden effect of the antidote. Yuling said. I don't care what the reason is, as long as it is effective. Qing Kai finally smiled. Grandfather, father, I feel uncomfortable. I want to release it. No. Yuling stopped him. Why? I feel so uncomfortable. Before we left, Sima Yue said that you will wake up for 3 days. In these 3 days, you can't do those things. Otherwise, all your efforts will be wasted. Yuling, if you don't believe me, you can give it a try. Yuling said, do you dare? Would they dare to use his entire life as a test? The most important thing was, according to Sima Yue's temperament, if she said this, there was an 80 to 90% chance of it being true. In short, he couldn't release it. He could only hold it in. Tie the young master up, Qing Cheng ordered. If you can't control yourself, get out of the Qing family. Qing Kai was depressed. He had never held it in so much in his life. Every minute and every second was torture. Sima Yue was simply a demon. She tortured him until he lost all his temper. He still wanted to take revenge in the past. But after going through all this, he couldn't do anything to her. After 3 days, he finally regained his freedom. However, his second son had already left him. He was tortured for 3 days. He was exhausted. He didn't even look at the beauties his father sent over and fell asleep. The beast-taming sect was in a mess. They looked for people to take a look. For some reason, the news of Qing Kai drinking urine to detoxify the antidote spread. Everyone who saw Qing Kai would hide far away. It was as if he smelled of urine. He was so angry that he clenched his teeth. For a long time, he hid in his room and didn't come out. Sima Yue also knew about the beast-taming sect's actions. She smiled evilly. Fushi said to Hai Xing and Hai Shi, did you see that? In the future, you don't have to kill anyone who offends you. Find a right way to punish them. That's the best. Although he said that, he couldn't help but complain in his heart. This woman was too evil. Whether it was impotence or the poison, it was enough to show how evil her heart was. Sima Yue thought that the rest of her life would pass peacefully. Who knew that before the matter of her making Qing Kai drink urine was over, the news of Elan accepting her as a disciple spread. The entire Yin sect was in an uproar again. Who was Elan? She was the main elder of the sect. Not only were her disciples talented, they had to be very powerful to be able to enter her eyes. Now that she was accepting Sima Yue, didn't that mean that Sima Yue's alchemy skills were higher than those of the alchemy sect? This Sima Yue is simply an evildoer. Many people cried out, "When will I have the chance to properly witness her abilities? Is she really human? How can there be such a demon? I heard that she's very beautiful. I don't know who can control such a woman." You don't have to worry about that. She already has someone in her heart. Moreover, that person joined the Yin sect for her and became the disciple of the Erase sect's leader. Are you serious? Is this news reliable? Of course it's reliable. This news came from the Erase sect and the Sound sect. What a pity. I wanted to give it a try. Go ahead. Poacher, I believe in you. Hey, there's no corner that can't be poached. There's only a shovel that isn't hard enough. Who knows, maybe I'll succeed. Then you'll have to be alive first. Haha. Now, everyone in the Yin sect was talking about Sima Yue. They even started betting on whether she knew their sect skills. Even the beast-taming sect was secretly opened. Although she said that she could tame beasts, it was still open without seeing it with their own eyes. When Sima Yue heard Fushi's words, the corners of her mouth twitched. These people really have nothing better to do. Who knew that you would do all these things? Fushi said, I also heard that the people from the alchemy sect are not convinced and want to cause trouble for you before you take me as your disciple. I don't have that much time to play with them. Sima Yue said. The beast-taming sect knew that there was no way to mediate, so she didn't mind making things this way. However, the alchemy sect was still considered to be from the same sect. It would be a waste of time to do this. Little Grand Ancestor, Yuling from the poison sect, is here to look for you. A junior at the door said. Sima Yue raised her brows. What was this woman here for? Chapter 2036. When Yuling saw Sima Yue, she immediately revealed her intentions. I'm here to ask you for advice on poison. Although Sima Yue's impression of Yuling wasn't bad, and she even knew that she had said a few fair words for her, she still didn't really want to bother with this woman, who asked her to be on Qingshi's side. My poison skills are just some small tricks. I'm just playing around. How can I discuss it with you? She rejected. So you admit that you know poison? Yuling said. Huh? Sima Yue was surprised by her reaction. She seemed to care more about this answer. Poison sect opened a bet to guess if you're a poison master and if the poison was made by your son. I'm here to get an answer. Yuling said. Sima Yue's heart was in a mess, but she could not show it on her face. If she could, she wanted to chase her away. You little brat, how can you keep it to yourself when you're angry? Yuling burst the bubble in her heart, making Sima Yue feel embarrassed. Shouldn't she see through it and not expose it? All right, there's another question. Yuling continued. Is Qingshi's 3 days of abstinence real? I checked his body after the detoxification, and there's nothing wrong with him. You want to hear the real answer? Yeah, I won't tell anyone. No, it's fine as long as he releases it. But if he doesn't release it, it'll last for 3 days. Yuling, because of the matter with the primer, they were certain that she was trying to prank them, so they did not know if they should believe her. But they did not dare to take the risk, so they could only choose to believe her. They did not expect her to just say it casually. Aren't you afraid that I'll go back on my words and tell others about this? She asked. What's wrong with that? Everyone knows that I don't get along with Qingkai, so it's normal for me to throw a tantrum. If you tell others, they'll just think that I'm a bad person. Qingkai has already suffered. Sima Yue did not care at all. She would tell her, but she did not care if she would tell others. You've been quite popular recently. Have you thought of joining Poison Sect? Yuling asked. Join Poison Sect? That's right. I heard that you're going to join Pill Sect, Array Sect, Spirit Sect. It's not a big deal. Sima Yue directly rejected. If Qingshi knew that you wanted me to join the Poison Sect, what would she think? My relationship with him is between the two of us. The matter between you and Poison Sect is between us. It's different. Oh Yuling said. Besides, it's not like we have a good personal relationship. It's just that there are some things that can't be pushed away. Actually, I didn't want to join the Array Formation sect or the Spirit-Seeking sect. It was just casually spread by those people outside. Sima Yu said, recently, I only learned how to use sound attacks in the sound sect. The reason why I became 6th Elder's disciple was killed by Qin Kai. Seeing how insistent she was, Yuling knew that she would not join the poison sect for now, so she did not say anything more. She only said, if you change your mind in the future, you can come and look for us directly. After Yuling left, Fushi asked Sima Yue, why didn't you agree with her? Don't you want to improve your poison skills too? The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. I'm already so high profile. If I join poison sect, it'll be a blessing. Sima Yue said. Also, don't bite off more than you can chew. There's no rush to learn. People like us who cultivate have more time. Let's talk about this again after the commotion dies down. That's true. A few days later, Lu Yin brought her to the main sect, and she became He Lan's disciple. When she saw the old man smiling at her in the main hall, she knew that the person who stopped her was the sect master of the Yin sect. The process of becoming a disciple was very simple. Sima Yu served tea and changed the way she addressed her as master. He Lan told her about the rules of the sect and gave her a gift for becoming a disciple. That was it. In the following days, she went out less. Other than learning sound attacks, she went to He Lan to learn about formations. When she had time, she taught Hai Xing and Hai Shi. 20 years passed in a blink of an eye. This was the most peaceful time Sima Yue had ever lived. She had never had such a long time to learn and improve herself. She slowed down her pace and felt that she had learned more. Time allowed her to let go of herself. The relaxation of her soul allowed her to improve her state. The unstable state that was left behind by her rapid growth was solved. Pa! Boom! In a barren mountain far away from the Yin sect, Sima Yue was struck by lightning. She was charred on the outside and tender on the inside. She lay on the ground and did not want to move. The cloud spirit said that it was a big tribulation and it had to be struck. Sima Yue endured it from the beginning to the end. If it was not for little Z, she would have died here. Many people were watching outside the lightning tribulation. Some came from the Yin sect after hearing the commotion. Some came with her. Seeing the lightning tribulation, everyone was shocked. Many people's legs turned to jelly. Some of the people who wanted to do something to her also left. The little princess of the ghost realm. Her strength was not just for show. Wu Lingyu went to carry her. Although Sima Yue was not seriously injured, she was in so much pain that she did not want to talk. She leaned into his arms. Yue, how are you? Fushi ran over. At this time, his body had grown into an adult. He looked like a young man in his 20s. He looked at the weak Sima Yue. He still had lingering fears. Sure enough, compared to her, the electric shocks she gave him in the past were child's play. Master, Hai Shi and Hai Xing had also grown up. Over the years, their strength had increased rapidly. With the resources that Sima Yu had given them, they were several levels higher than their peers. I'm fine. It's just a little painful. Sima Yue said, it's good that you only feel a little pain after being hit by such a big lightning bolt. Konoha Chi said faintly. Over the years, because they discussed arrays from time to time, they became closer to Sima Yue. Seeing her going through the tribulation shocked them. They did not expect that there would be someone who could withstand the lightning. Sima Yue saw so many people. She pulled Wu Lingyu's clothes. Wu Lingyu understood and disappeared from the crowd with her. When they appeared again, they were already in her courtyard. I've finally broken through to Underworld Paragon. We should leave and find grandfather to fulfill our promise. She lay on the bed and said happily, you've been in seclusion for the past 2 years. That's why you don't know the situation outside. There are rumors that the Ghost King is no longer here. Wu Lingyu said, what happened? It should be because the Ghost King has not appeared for so many years. That's why there are these rumors. Or someone spread these rumors. Chapter 2037. Sima Yoyue's eyes turn cold. Anaheim has never been well behaved. Grandfather has been in seclusion for so many years. Of course, she wants to take advantage of him. Hasn't she always done that? She said sarcastically. She probably thinks that she's more suitable to be the Ghost King than the Ghost Queen. She doesn't even know if she has the ability to do so. Aren't you worried about your grandfather? There's no need to worry. Sima Yue said, Grandfather actually left a soul imprint on me. He's fine in my consciousness now, so there's nothing wrong with him. I see. Wu Lingyu touched her nose. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I made you worry. I didn't think about it, so I ignored it. Sima Yue wrinkled her nose. Wu Lingyu really suspected that something had happened to the Ghost King. He was so far away and had not appeared for so long, so it was believable. Then there's no rush to go back. Wu Lingyu wanted to rush back once she recovered. Now they still had to go back, but they could relax a little. I've already passed the master's examination. You could take the examination after you recover. Wu Lingyu said, Master's examination? Everyone who leaves the Yin sect will have a master's examination based on what they've learned. Because your reputation has been very high all these years, everyone requested that your examination be made public. Wu Lingyu said, the masters agreed? Sima Yue saw the smile on Wu Lingyu's face and pursed her lips. Master and the rest are not thinking about me at all. I heard that you're going to take the master's examination. Many people have come back recently. Wu Lingyu continued. Is there a need for that? So you should be prepared. When you take the master's examination, there will be a lot of people watching. Like today. Sigh. It's been more than 20 years. Why do they still like to watch me? I've been a star in the zoo all these years. However, since Master and the rest had agreed, there was no use in protesting. The people behind the door had been chasing after her for more than 20 years. This time, she would satisfy them. Anyway, she was going to leave anyway. Whatever they did after that had nothing to do with her. Someone recorded the scene of Sima Yue undergoing the lightning tribulation. Just looking at the scene made their hearts tremble. Seeing that Sima Yue did not dodge and instead went forward, everyone was impressed by her courage and strength. As expected of the Secret Order's legend, no one will be able to surpass her in the future. Sigh, some people exist just to attack others. Isn't that so? Compared to her, I feel like While Sima Yue was recuperating from her injuries, the image of her heavenly tribulation had spread throughout the Yin sect. At the same time, everyone was looking forward to her graduation examination. In the days that followed, Konoha Nagasaki and others came to see her one after another, but she drove them all out, and no one came. She wasn't a gorilla or a monkey. What was so strange about all of them coming over to see? Liu Yin was in his own courtyard. He heard people coming and going from the small mountain beside him. It was much noisier than before, but he didn't dislike it. Sima Yue was lying in his music room, eating spiritual fruits and listening to him play the zither. Master, you play so well. Sima Yue supported her chin with one hand. Unfortunately, I can't listen to it for long. Have you decided? Liu Yin asked her. Yes. Sima Yue nodded. I've said before that the day I break through to Underworld Elder is the day I'll leave. It's already rare to be able to stay here for so long. It's indeed a little unexpected. I thought you'd break through earlier. Liu Yin knew about her body's condition, so he was a little surprised that she would choose to take such a long time. That would go against my original intention of coming here. Sima Yue smiled. It's just a pity that I won't be able to attend your wedding banquet before I leave. Although her two masters had expressed their love for each other all these years, they still hadn't decided to be together. Liu Yin's expression was a little unnatural. He didn't continue the topic, but said, Your graduation examination is arranged for half a month later. Will your injury be fine by then? No problem. Sima Yue knew that her master was thin-skinned, so she didn't continue to tease him. As for the public examination, the sect also wants a legendary figure to stimulate those arrogant disciples. Liu Yin took the initiative to explain. I know, Sima Yue said, but before the examination, let me hide here. Liu Yin smiled and let her be. While she was recuperating here, a few people went to the small mountain and met Hai Xing and Hai Shi, who helped her block people in the name of meeting her. After they left the small mountain, They went directly to Mo Wei's courtyard. How is it? I didn't lie to you, right? Mo Wei said. Vice sect leader Mo has always been honest, but we have to make sure that the person is real. One of the men said in a low voice, now that we've seen her, we can be sure. I've already told you the person. As for whether you can bring her out or not, it's none of my business. Mo Wei said, don't forget what you promised me. How could we forget? As long as she leaves the Een sect, she will be hunted down immediately. Now that the Ghost King is no longer here, we don't have to care so much. The other party said, that's good. Mo Wei didn't mention that Sima Yue was from the 9th Underworld clan. As long as these people killed Sima Yue, she didn't care about anything else. What do you think we should make our move? There have been too many people coming to the small mountain recently. If we make a move now, we'll be discovered easily. Half a month later, it will be the day of her graduation examination. By then, she won't have time to care about the people around her. That'll be the time for you to make your move. Mo Wei said, remember, you can only lure her out of the town. If you make a move inside, you'll be attacked by the Een sect. It doesn't matter if you die, but it'll be troublesome if you implicate her. We understand. We have a way to lure them out. I hope you really do. All right, you can leave the Een sect first. After those people left, Lu Su stepped forward and said, Master, do we really have to do this? Mo Wei's body emitted an eerie chill. If we don't make a move, she'll leave this place. These people know about the High family and are interested in those two people. It's most suitable for them to make a move. But she wanted to say that Sima Yue was so powerful and protective. If she knew that they were obstructing her, she didn't know what would happen. However, Mo Wei's decision would not change. Her heart was filled with apprehension, especially on the day of her graduation examination. When she received the news, a sense of panic rose in her heart. Chapter 2038. Among the mountains, the North Square was the largest open space, and there were many stands, which were rarely opened. This time, it was opened because of her, which was unprecedented. Starfish and Hai Shi sent Sima Yue to the North Square, and then went to the stands. The assessment hadn't started yet, so Sima Yue was waiting alone below, while Starfish, Hai Shi, and Fushi were excited on the stands. At this time, a strange man came to Starfish and Hai Shi and said, Starfish, someone asked me to give this to you. Starfish and Hai Shi saw the family jade in his hand and held their breath. Then they took the jade and asked, Where is this person? Waiting for you in the town outside. She said she couldn't stay here for long and asked you to meet her, the man said. She said she didn't want anyone to know. Hai Shi, who is that person? I saw her sneaking around. Is she a bad person? Sneaking around? Starfish and Hai Shi looked at each other and said, No, it should be our clansman who found her. We're going to meet her now. Thank you for bringing us the news. So it's your clansman. Then I brought you the news. I'll leave now. The man was about to leave. Wait. Starfish stopped him. I didn't see you in the gate. Did you come from the town? The man was startled and said, Yes. In that case, wait for us and we'll go out with you. Starfish said, We'll need you to point out that person for us. Okay. Then wait for us at the gate. We'll go after saying hello. Okay. The man left and waited for them at the gate. Starfish talked to a man for a while, but he didn't know what they were talking about. According to their temperament, they won't tell anyone about this, right? He guessed. After all, the High family was a secret, and they wouldn't be stupid enough to tell anyone. Starfish quickly told Fushi everything, and then said, This jade belongs to my aunt. When the family was destroyed, her whereabouts were unknown. Now that we have a clue, we have to go and have a look. Do you know that this might be a trap? Fushi said, I know, but this is the only clue we have right now. The Starfish said, Although it's most likely a trap, we can't ignore it. All right then, go ahead. Fushi nodded. When he saw the man looking over, he said, Go ahead. Come back early. I'll let you know. Thank you very much. Starfish knew that he was talking to that person, so he nodded gratefully and went to that person with Hesse. When the man saw Fushi pressing his lips together and understanding what he was saying, he heaved a sigh of relief. Since he said so, It meant that he would be waiting for Sima Yue to finish her exam. As long as these people didn't come, by the time they found out that these two people were missing, it would be after her assessment. At that time, they wouldn't be able to track down their whereabouts. He walked out with the starfish and Hesse. After leaving the bustling North Square, the surroundings became much quieter. Along the way, Sima Yue asked him some questions about the town. He couldn't answer them, so he said that he had just entered the sect recently, so he was sent to the town to guard. Seeing his behavior, the siblings were even more sure that this was a trap. When they were about to reach the town, the man said, I suddenly remembered that he said that if you didn't arrive in half a day, he would go to Dongshan Mountain and wait for you. He asked you to go to Dongshan Mountain to find him. I heard that Dongshan Mountain is a little far from here. Essie said, that's why I said that person was sneaky. In that case, do you still want to go? The starfish and Hesse hesitated and said, yes, but we haven't been to Dongshan Mountain. Can you take us there? Well, we don't know what the person who brought the jade looks like. Even if we see her, we won't know it's her, the starfish said. All right then. Who asked me to take on this matter? But I have to go back and talk to the shopkeeper. Okay, then you go. We'll wait for you here, the starfish said with a smile. The man left, thinking that these two people had really grown up in a good environment. Their minds were too simple. He went to the town and went back to find them. My shopkeeper said that he wanted to take you there and then go back to work. So let's go and come back early. Okay. They rushed to Dongshan Mountain and soon arrived there. This is it. I don't know where that person is hiding. Shall we look for her separately? I think we'd better go together. If we separate, we won't recognize her even if we see her, the starfish said. We'll help you talk to your shopkeeper later. He won't blame you. That's good. I can slack off for half a day. Let's start looking here. He took the two of them around the mountain and then walked towards the agreed place. Before they got there, they found that something was wrong. The air seemed to be filled with a strong smell of blood. When they got there, they found that a group of underworld beasts had surrounded a group of wounded people, and those people were their own people. We've been discovered. This was his first thought. The next second, he reflexively wanted to escape, but found that the way back had been blocked by a group of underworld beasts. You guys are so slow. Fushi came over on a nether lion, crossed his arms in front of his chest, and complained, when we go back, I don't know if Yue has finished the exam. We wanted to see if he had any other purpose, the Haishi said, who knew that he was just leading us around. Okay, catch these people. Let's hurry back. Fushi took out a few ropes and shook them gently. These ropes tied everyone up. The Haishi went up and fed poison to everyone's mouths. They couldn't commit suicide now, even if they wanted to. Fushi ordered the underworld beasts, you guys go back. You worked hard today. All the underworld beasts bowed respectfully to him, and then they all dispersed. You already knew. The man who delivered the message glared at the starfish. There was no subservience in his eyes, and his face was full of anger. That's right. We suspected you as soon as you appeared, the starfish said. But in order to catch you, we had to let you lead the way. When you went back to the town to inform the people hiding in East Mountain, we also sent the news to Fushi. When you go back, you guys can have a good talk about why Little Ant's jade pendant is with you. Let's go, let's go. Fushi urged. He still had to go back and watch Sima Yue's exam. He didn't know how much he would miss. Sima Yue was in the square. She looked at the place where the starfish and the others were and found that the three of them were gone. She frowned slightly. Chapter 2039. However, she didn't have the time to look for them because the elders of the main sect had all arrived. There were also the sect masters and vice-sect masters of the various sections. This lineup was comparable to when something big happened in the sect in the past. Their appearance forced her to stop her actions of contacting them. She raised her head and saw Wu Lingyu at the position of the array door. Wu Lingyu saw her looking at the 3 empty seats of the sound sect and understood what she meant. He nodded at her. Ning Tianya brought his people to the rostrum and sat down. Sima Yue came in front of them. Yue, are you sure you want to take all the examinations today? Ning Tianya asked her. Yes. Sima Yue replied. All right, your master will give you the examination questions next. You must pass all of them before you can leave the secret sect. Ning Tianya said. Hearing that Sima Yue wanted to leave the secret sect, the people of the secret sect weren't surprised. Anyone who wanted to take the examinations would have to leave the secret sect. However, when Ning Tianya mentioned it, they felt a little disappointed. In the future, the secret sect would have a lot less fun. Who will go first? Ning Tianya looked at the sect masters and asked. I'll go first. It just so happens that the sect has taken in a patient these 2 days. Her symptoms are a little strange, and they haven't found the cause yet. The sect master of the medicine sect spoke, causing the entire venue to quiet down. The sect master of the medicine sect said he wanted to test her. They didn't know that she had medical skills. Old Manly, isn't it unfair for you to take the examination like this? Helan protested. You don't even have a solution, and you let her do it. What if she can't solve it? How does that count? Naturally, we've considered this situation. The sect master of the medicine sect stroked his beard that reached his chest. If she gives up, we still have a backup plan. As long as she can pass that, it counts. Master, then let me try. Sima Yue said. Old Manly clapped his hands, and someone immediately brought a patient up. This is the patient who came in 2 days ago. His vitality has been weakening, but he hasn't been injured. There are also no other factors. Try and see if you can find a reason. Sima Yue came to the patient. She was already very weak. Her eyes were lifeless, and her facial features were sunken. Her face was sallow, and her body was haggard. She looked like she was malnourished. Let me take your pulse first. She asked the medicine boy beside her to put his hand on the armrest of the chair and take his pulse. Sect leaderly came to her side while she was taking her pulse. He wanted to see if she could find a reason. His pulse is weak, and his spiritual essence is scarce. The other symptoms are caused by the decrease in spiritual essence. They are not the cause of his illness. No matter how I look at it, it's just a normal symptom, Sima Yue said. But under normal circumstances, we should be able to find a reason for the loss of spiritual essence. Indeed, Sect Masterly said. That's why it's strange. Master, have you checked if there are any life-sucking parasites in his body? Sima Yue asked. I've already checked. There's nothing. Sect Leaderly said. This parasite was the first thing they thought of when the person's spiritual essence was being drained. But after checking a few times, they found nothing out of the ordinary. There's no injury, no parasites. His spiritual essence is disappearing for no reason. Sima Yue touched her chin. Her mind was racing as she tried to think of the reason for this. Just as Sect Leaderly was about to ask her if she wanted to give up and choose the backup exam, she went behind the patient and took out a silver needle. She then pierced it into his neck. Ah! The patient who had not spoken a word for so many days suddenly screamed. It was as if he was going through some kind of pain. What's going on? Shouldn't there be no reaction? The people from the physician sect saw Sima Yue's actions and knew what she had done. Sect leader Li parted the patient's hair and saw that his neck was red and swollen around the silver needle. He immediately understood. I see. I didn't think of this. Sect leader, what is this? When some people cultivate, they will form their own lines in their bodies. Under normal circumstances, this will not have any effect on the human body. However, once there is a cultivation backlash during the cultivation process, the lines will devour the human body's vitality. Sect Leaderly explained, the probability of this happening is very low, so very few people know about it. Even I didn't think of it. Now that you mention it, it's very rare in the medical records. I didn't think that Yue would know about this. It's really admirable. The people from the physician's sect agreed. She knows so much at such a young age. It really makes me feel ashamed. Then how do we solve this? Someone asked, does she have to cure him to pass the exam? No one can cure him yet. If she finds the cause, she will pass. Because this is too rare, she will pass. Sima Yue looked at the lifeless person on the chair. She heard the people from the physician's sect tell his family that there was no medicine to save him. Seeing the grief in her family's eyes, she said softly, why don't you let me try and see if I can? Her voice was very soft. It was almost inaudible amidst the clamor of praises and discussions. However, her family still heard it. Master, Master, can you save him? I beg you to save him. She ran to Sima Yue and knelt down in front of her, grabbing her clothes. Hearing her shout, the others all looked over in surprise. "Master, you just said that you can save him." The girl raised her head and shouted. Sima Yue pulled her up and said, "Get up first." She didn't have the habit of making people kneel down in front of her, especially in front of so many people. "Yue, do you have a way to cure him?" Sect Leader Li asked. "I don't have absolute confidence, but since he is already waiting for death, why not try?" Sima Yue said, "Thank you, Master. Thank you, Master." The girl kneeling on the floor kept kowtowing. "Don't be in a hurry to thank me. I might not be able to save him." Sima Yue didn't want her to have too much hope. "I know." Sect Leader Li said that there is no other way. "I'm already very grateful that you are willing to try." The girl calmed down and didn't push Yue too hard. "Since you want to try, then try. Who knows, you might be able to save his life." Sect Leader Li said. Then he got people to build a temporary treatment room and surrounded it. He didn't want anyone to see the treatment process. "Old Li, do you trust her that much? You know this child. She never speaks carelessly. Since she took the initiative to mention it, at least she has some confidence. Even if she fails in the end, it doesn't matter." Chapter 2040. The treatment process needed to be kept secret, so only Sect Leader Li went in with her. The people outside didn't know what they were doing inside, but they could vaguely see the shadows inside and hear Sect Leader Li's cheers from time to time. I didn't expect her to have such amazing medical skills. She has only been in the sect for more than 20 years. How could she learn so many things to be so powerful? She already knew these when she entered the sect, and now she is just improving herself. Oh, really amazing. Her existence is a blow to people's confidence. Now, even if she knows everything in the sect, I wouldn't be surprised. Me too. Because they couldn't see Sima Yue's treatment process, everyone felt that it was a long process. After a few hours, the temporary screen was open from the inside. "Your silver needle technique is really amazing." Sect Leader Li praised when he came out, and the relatives waiting outside quickly greeted them, looking at the two expectantly. "Haha, your luck is really good to meet her. She actually used this method to straighten out the lines in his body. He won't lose his vitality later, so his life is saved," Sect Leader Li said with a smile. "Thank you, Sect Leader Li. Thank you, Master." The woman thanked the two excitedly. "Don't thank me. I didn't find the cause of the disease, and I didn't save him." Sect Leader Li was not greedy. "When you go back, you have to take care of his body. This time he suffered a great loss, and it will take some time for him to recover. Also, don't advance rashly in the future, and cultivate slowly." Yes, I will definitely talk to him and won't do this kind of thing again." "Well, he can leave after resting here for 2 days. You can go down with him." The people of the sect removed the people and the screen, and the square was empty again. Sect Leader Li proudly announced, "Doctor passed the examination." "Thank you, Master." "Good." Ning Tianya looked at him and said, "Who's next?" "I'll do it." The sect leader of the spirit-seeking sect came out and said, "Our examination is very simple. Choose 50 ores from 100 ores, and there can't be any white stones. Moreover, the value of the selected ores and the rest of the ores can't be less than 5. God, this is simple. This is equivalent to a 95% hit rate. The greater the base, the higher the risk. How is this simple? When did the Sun Ling sect's examination become so difficult? It probably varies from person to person, but this is too difficult. Others were talking about it, and the people of the spirit-seeking sect were also lamenting the unprecedented difficulty of this assessment. But no matter how much they protested, the test had already been set, and no one could change it. The people of the spirit-seeking sect moved 100 ores to the square and arranged them neatly in 10 rows. All right, I forgot to mention the time. Within 4 hours. PFFF, what he said at the end, made people spit out blood. Choosing 50 ores in 4 hours and having a 100% hit rate, 4 hours and 240 minutes. Looking at 100 ores, the average time spent on one or was only slightly more than 2 minutes. This was a stone selection, not a cabbage selection on the street. How was this an exam? This was simply making things difficult for him. Sima Yue, on the other hand, was very calm. When the timer started, she began to move through the oars. She picked up an oar and looked at it for a few seconds. In less than 10 seconds, she could decide whether to eliminate it or choose it. So fast. Is she choosing the oars, or is she just trying her luck? This speed, it shouldn't be stone selection, right? Have you ever seen anyone choose oars so quickly? She must be guessing. But if she's really guessing, her expression is too calm and confident. This is called being calm in the face of danger. Even if she's not sure, she has to fool others. You speak as if you really know. Someone scoffed at this statement. I believe she's seriously choosing the oars. You don't believe in her ability. You're blindly worshiping her. That's right. I admire her. I believe she has the ability. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such an examination. That's true. Since it's a graduation examination, and it's so difficult, it means that she has the possibility to complete it. Let's wait and see. 2 hours later, the oars were divided into 3 piles. 1 pile was selected by her, 1 pile was eliminated by her, and the remaining dozen were uncertain. She had already selected 43 oars, so she had to choose 7 out of the 15. She carefully observed every one of them, and after careful consideration, she made her move. At the last minute, she selected the remaining 7. Master, I've chosen, she said to the spirit-seeking sect master on the stand. Good, open the oars. All the masters in the spirit-seeking sect were dispatched. Some opened the oars she chose, and some opened the remaining ones. The masters who opened the oars she chose were a little nervous. As long as they opened a white stone, she wouldn't be able to pass today's examination. Fortunately, they didn't open a white stone all the way. At least she passed the first round. On the other side, the eliminated oars opened 10 white stones. She didn't choose a single one of the 10 oars. 50 oars, not a single white stone, all right. The person in charge of the examination was Lin Chung, who had competed with her before. Now that he personally announced her results, his mood was also complicated. She was indeed much better than him. She really hit all the oars. That's amazing. It seems that she didn't guess, or else how could she not choose any of the 10 white stones? So, it's really her ability. Heavens! And Isla sat in his seat and said with a smile, these oars were finalized by the guys below for 7 or 8 days. Even I took a day to confirm. That's why it's said that the student has surpassed the master. How does it feel to be surpassed by your own disciple? Very proud, haha. And Isla laughed. Next, we'll evaluate the value. Lin Chung announced. The elders of the spirit-seeking sect immediately evaluated the value of each oars, then wrote it down on paper, and finally sorted them one by one. In the end, there were 3 oars whose value exceeded the one she chose, and 5 oars lower than the examination standard. Therefore, she passed the examination smoothly. The square was boiling. Everyone looked at her as if they were looking at a legend. Who's next? Ning Tianya asked. I'll do it. Hoo-hoo, the formation sect master said. Seeing Hoo-hoo come out, no one was surprised. They knew that he was good at formations when Lu Yin advanced. Now that he came out to take the examination, they all believed that she wouldn't have any problems. In the end, Sima Yue almost failed here. Chapter 2041. The array test was especially difficult, and the content of the test was something she did not expect. When she heard the content of the test, she could only say that her master thought too highly of her. Hoo-hoo came to the front of the rostrum and said, My test is very simple. The place you are at is already prepared an array. It's a trap array and you have to come out from it. However, if you activate the hidden array within the array while breaking it, it will become a killing array. She understood this kind of combination array. As long as she found the pattern, it was not too difficult. But when the array was activated, she was depressed. It's actually an imitation of the trap array of the 10 great ancient arrays. Master, do you really think I'm that powerful? She could not help but complain. The people outside could not hear her voice, but they could see her lips. Coupled with her expression, they could tell that she was depressed. Old who? You actually used an imitation of an ancient array. Isn't this a little too much? Helan frowned, feeling indignant for Sima Yue. If she can't pass this array, what will she do if she encounters an ancient array in the future? Hu said, moreover, you all know about her. If she goes to that place in the future, if she doesn't have any skills, how can she protect herself? If she can't pass, she can stay and continue to learn. Others also felt that what he said made sense. But she's also in a hurry to leave. Although she did not appear to be in a hurry and stay to stabilize herself, she was still anxious to save her mother. This was not a secret among the higher-ups of the hidden sect. Otherwise, they would not have agreed to let her finish the test in such a short time. Back then, they had a meeting with Sima Yue and talked about her situation, including her background, her experience, her growth, the things she did in the human realm and the ghost realm, and so on. In the end, they concluded that she should be the person with the destiny that they had been waiting for. As people of the upper class in this world, they had the obligation to help her grow. That was why they allowed her to study in various sects all these years. They also knew that she should have some kind of treasure that could slow down time, which allowed her to learn so many things in such a short time. More than 20 years in the Spirit Pagoda was more than 200 years. With her talent and foundation, it was not difficult for her to learn. Moreover, they had also calculated that chaos was coming. She had to leave. There were still many things waiting for her to do in this world. Their hearts were filled with pride at the thought that they could personally bring her up. However, she might not be able to pass the array formation exam. Sima Yue walked in the array formation. She felt that she was walking in one direction, but to the people outside, she was walking around in a very small area. She felt that the imitation of the ancient formation was more troublesome because it made some changes on the foundation of the ancient formation. It not only had the power of the ancient formation, but also had more changes. Some even had stronger power. Furthermore, this formation had been changed into a combination formation by Hu. Once the killing formation was triggered, it would be disastrous. She was trapped and killed. Moreover, she could feel that the power of the killing array was not any weaker than the trapping array. Thinking of this, she wanted to vomit blood. It was just an exam, but her master was torturing her to death. Whoosh! The sound of the wind rushed over. She moved her body to the side. An array of spiritual energy brushed past her ear, scraping the skin on her ear. If he came any closer, her ears would be gone. She had actually triggered the killing array. Sima Yue wanted to vomit blood. She had just figured out how to break the trapping array, and now she had triggered the killing array. Now, not only did she have to deal with these attacks, she also had to break the array. Most importantly, the attacks were so fierce that she did not have the time or energy to break the array. Seeing the killing array attack, the crowd was in an uproar. This attack was too fierce. With Sima Yue's strength, she would not be able to defend against it. Old Hu, don't you think you've gone overboard? The people on the rostrum were also worried. The attacks seemed to be too fierce. Only Hu laughed. His previous worries were swept away. Yue is injured. How can you still laugh at this time? Helan said with a solemn face. Continue watching. Hu did not explain, but the smile on his face deepened. Is there something fishy? They turned their attention back to Sima Yue, only to see that she was badly injured by the attacks and was running around the array. The people on the rostrum were heartbroken. Their goddess had never been in such a sorry state. She was seriously injured and was even forced to run around. Her image was gone. Puffed. She could not dodge in time. A long sword pierced her shoulder, just 2 fingers away from her heart. If it had gone down a little further, old Hu, and Ailu is anxious. If this continues, she will die. You should quickly deactivate the array. She would have failed the assessment this time. Don't be anxious. Hu's smile did not change. Just wait a little longer. Can what? They did not see any signs of her breaking the array. Just wait and see. The tables are about to turn. Hu said. He would not joke about Sima Yue's life. Since he said so, everyone could only wait. They waited anxiously. Their hearts were in their throats. Fortunately, they did not have to wait for too long. Otherwise, their lives would be shortened. Sima Yue was injured again. On her other shoulder, in the same position, she was stabbed again. Now, there was a long sword on each of her shoulders. There were a few broken arrows in her legs and wounds all over her body. However, when her shoulder was stabbed, she smiled. That smile was so confident, so bright. It made people feel that no matter what difficulties they faced, they would not be able to stop her. She would keep moving forward, reaching heights that she had never reached before. Array rise. Following her shout, an array lit up around her. This array was not big, but it was just enough to protect her. It also weakened the attack of the trapping array. She actually set up an array when she was escaping. Everyone exclaimed. Previously, no one could see that her messy steps were actually drawing array patterns. Old Hu, you saw through it long ago, Anila said. Hu smiled but did not say anything. Is this array able to resist your trapping array? The attack seems to be much weaker. Lu Yin asked. I think so too. It seems to be much smaller. Helan said. It can't be considered a trapping array. Not only did she set up an array, she even borrowed the trapping array's array patterns and used some of the trapping array's power. This way, she can protect herself and weaken the attack. Once she recovers, this formation won't pose any difficulty to her. Who explained to everyone. Chapter 2042. Sima Yu felt that her life had come back to life, and she could breathe again. She lay on the ground without caring about her image and took out a pill with difficulty, waiting for her body to recover. Everyone present suddenly fell silent. Sima Yue had always been omnipotent and aloof in their hearts. At the same time, they also felt that people like her only had good talent and a good environment. However, looking at her now, other than having good conditions, she was also very hardworking. No, it couldn't be said that she was very hardworking. It should be said that she was desperately hardworking. If they encountered such a situation, they would have surrendered long ago. How could they have persisted until the end, let alone have the thought and ability to arrange an array to give themselves time to breathe? She had the ability and was also very hardworking. That was why she could stand at such a high position. At this moment, no one felt that her image was bad. On the contrary, she was better in their hearts than ever before. Many people secretly decided that they would work harder in the future. The pill quickly stopped the bleeding on her body and restored a lot of her spiritual energy. She collapsed on the ground and looked at the rare blue sky. Her mind was circling around for a while and how to break the array. She didn't care about what others thought of her. Time slowly passed. After resting for half an hour, she finally sat up. The attacks outside were still there. Although they were much weaker, it was still a problem for her who was seriously injured. She sat in her own array formation and took out a few array stones, calmly deducing them. A figure covered in blood and covered in wounds entered the hearts of countless people. From then on, no one was more beautiful than her. After a while, her tightly pursed lips finally rose. At that moment, many people smiled with her. Sima Yue picked up the array stones and went to the edge of her array. The moment she removed the array, she disappeared. Disappear, reappear, disappear, and reappear. Although the attacks didn't decrease, she didn't suffer any injuries. She was much calmer than before. Hu smiled. She has already grasped the rules of the killing array. Not bad, not bad. Ning Tianyao praised. It was not only because of her ability, but also because of her perseverance. Sima Yue walked around the array for a while and inserted the last array stone. The attacks suddenly disappeared. She also walked out of the trapping array. He had finally passed this hurdle. Sima Yue raised her head and smiled at Wu Lingyu. Wu Lingyu smiled back at her, and her tightly clenched fists in her sleeves finally relaxed. It was sour. Many people felt sour in their hearts. Her smile was for Wu Lingyu alone. What should they do when they were so envious of him? He really wanted to go up and beat up Wu Lingyu. What should he do? Sima Yue came to the rostrum and said, Master, I'm out. Hu nodded in satisfaction. Not bad, you've passed my test. You've already competed for 2 days. You can continue with the rest of the assessment after your injuries have healed, Ning Tianya said. There's no need, Sect Master. Sima Yue said. These are just superficial wounds. There's no need to rest. Although she said so, everyone still gave her half a day to rest. And everyone was willing to wait for her here. Sima Yue ate some pills. Some were for healing her injuries, and some were for restoring her mental strength. While she was changing her clothes, she took the opportunity to rest in her spirit pagoda. When she appeared in front of everyone again, half a day later, she was already full of energy. Sect Master, let's begin. All right, who's next? Ning Tianya asked. I'll do it, Lu Yin said. In view of your body's condition, I'll do something simple. You only need to play a song. You don't need to attack. You just need to make everyone here fall into your illusion. Everyone present wanted to vomit blood. When he said that he would do something simple, they thought that he was going to go easy on Sima Yue and really give her a simple test. They didn't expect him to be the same as the previous ones. He was also a trap. She was already so tired, but he actually wanted her to enchant everyone present. They all had great mental strength. How strong would the sound attack be if all of them were enchanted? Many people were wondering if they would be discovered if they pretended to be enchanted. If they didn't know how to, then they would just have to pretend. Sima Yue didn't have any objections. She took out a black musical instrument. She tested the sound and made sure that every note was correct. What musical instrument is this? Why haven't I seen it before? This sound is like a flute, but it's not a flute. It's quite nice. Let's see what kind of music she can play. No matter what kind of music she plays, I'll be enchanted in a while. Yes, I'll definitely be enchanted too. They emphasized the word definitely, and everyone understood what they meant. Yes, they'll definitely be enchanted too. How could their actions be hidden from the old guys on the rostrum? These guys, don't they know that pretending won't work? And Lele was amused. I've never seen the people in the sect so united. Hu said, if they were always so united, there wouldn't be so many problems. That's good too. Helan smiled. Sima Yue heard those words too. She was grateful for their kindness, but she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Let's begin, Lu Yin instructed. Sima Yue put the ocarina to her lips. The melodious sound spread throughout the entire North Square. Her musical instrument is so simple, and the sound is a little monotonous. Is it okay to use this now? Helan asked Lu Yin. I don't know. You'll have to see how she performs. Lu Yin said, and this is the first time I've heard her play this song. Then she'll be taking a risk. Helan said, don't you know her character? Is she afraid of taking risks? If she is, she won't be able to pass the array formation test. That's true. The song Sima Yue played was the song she would listen to every time she went on a mission. The scenery of her hometown could always calm her down. The song wasn't very long. When she played it for the first time, those people didn't think much of it. They just felt that the song was very nice. As they listened to the simple tune, a faint sense of homesickness rose in their hearts. When she played it for the second time, their hearts didn't think of anything else. They just followed the song. When she played it for the third and fourth time, the homesickness in their hearts disappeared. A scene appeared in front of them. In a world filled with white fog, a long river flowed alone. Slowly, living things appeared in the water. Those living things multiplied endlessly. They came from the water to the land and gave birth to new species. In the end, those species disappeared and only that lonely river was left. Chapter 2043. 1 second to remember, love divided by you. Reading book, web quick update, no pop-up window, free to read. The sound of the flute came again and again, but no one noticed it. They listened to the sound of the flute, but it seemed like they didn't hear it because their attention was focused on the scene in front of them. In an instant, the world changed. After the sound of the flute stopped, they didn't know how much time had passed, but they felt that the scene just now was too real, as if it really happened. The old guys on the rostrum were the first to recover and looked at Sima Yue with complicated gazes. Yue, what you showed us is... Ning Tian, you didn't finish his sentence. because he felt that it was too unbelievable. Yes, it's the origin and departure of life in the chaotic world, as well as its current situation. Sima Yue said, "Hiss, it really is." The old guys were all experienced. Although they hadn't been to the chaotic world and hadn't seen it before, they could guess it from the scene. "You've been to the chaotic world?" Although there was the power of sound in it, such a realistic scene couldn't be shown if they hadn't seen it with their own eyes. "Yes, I've been there twice." Sima Yue said, "I also saw this scene in the river." "No wonder. I didn't expect you to have been there. It really is." And Isla sighed, but didn't finish his sentence. "Master, did I pass this round?" Sima Yue asked. "You passed." Luyan nodded. Those people still hadn't recovered, and their eyes were still unfocused. "Thank you, Master." She put away the flute. After passing this round, there wasn't much more difficult. "It's my turn now." Helan calmed down and said, "You can refine an 11th grade pill." The others slowly came out of the illusion, and before they could discuss the illusion, they heard that she was going to the next round of assessment. Although it was a little difficult to refine an 11th grade pill, it wasn't too harsh. After all, those who came out of the hidden sect had to be at least 10th grade. However, before they could be happy for her, Helan set another condition, at most 8 hours. 8 hours? How could this be? Even the shortest 11th grade medicinal pill would take more than 10 hours. How could he possibly refine it in 8 hours? Don't make a fuss. Since she asked for this, she should be able to fulfill it. Think about the previous ones. Didn't you think it was impossible? But she passed all of them, didn't she? Seems like it. She's about to start. Let's just watch. Sima Yue placed the herbs she needed on 3 tables. She didn't have much time this time, so she chose the pill that she was best at. This way, the pressure will be much less. She first checked all the herbs to make sure there were no mistakes before she started to refine the pill. Refining, fusing, and condensing the core. Every step was already ingrained in her bones. Because of its high grade, there were many types of medicinal herbs that needed to be refined, and this was often the most time-consuming. She took out the alchemy furnace, lit it up, and began to refine the medicinal herbs. She threw in more than 10 types of medicinal herbs at once, causing the people on the viewing platform to be shocked again. She can actually refine more than 10 types of medicinal herbs at once. I remember that the best alchemist in the alchemy sect can only refine 7 or 8 types of medicinal herbs at once. Only the elders and above can refine more than 10 types of medicinal herbs. She can actually refine more than 20 types of medicinal herbs. If this is the case, she can save a lot of time just by refining the medicinal herbs. I see. It seems like the 6th elder knows about her abilities. That's why he made such a request. But even so, the time is still a little tight. The alchemists were all experienced alchemists. Someone immediately calculated the time she needed. She's not panicking. She should be planning the time. Let's continue watching. Very soon, they knew what Sima Yue was planning to do. When she was halfway through refining the medicinal herbs, Sima Yue took out another alchemy furnace and placed the previously refined essences into it to fuse them. This was the first time they saw refining and fusing being done at the same time. How could she do this? What if she doesn't manage to refine the medicinal herbs needed for the fusion later on? This furnace of pills will be wasted. The audience couldn't stay calm. This was simply too reckless. Even the old guys on the rostrum frowned in disapproval. 6th elder, don't you think the time limit is too short? And Ailu protested. My time limit is twice as long as the 4 hours you gave me. Helan said, and Ailu was rebuked by her, but she couldn't retort back. This was because the time she gave to Sima Yue was indeed too harsh. Yue isn't in a hurry. Why are you guys in a hurry? Lu Yin was very confident in Sima Yue. This time, she would probably become a legend in the secret order. It would definitely be unprecedented. That's right. I'm the only one who knows about Yue's alchemy skills. As for you guys, you can just watch quietly. Helan's lips curled upwards. She was in a good mood. She had previously discovered that Sima Yue could refine more than 20 types of medicinal herbs at the same time. She also knew that Sima Yue had tried to refine and fuse them at the same time. Hence, These 8 hours were definitely more than enough for Sima Yue. However, this would require a high level of mental strength, but it wasn't difficult for her. As she had refined pills many times, she knew how to control the time needed to refine and fuse them. The entire refining process was surprisingly smooth. Fusing, condensing the pill, and absorbing the pill lightning were all done in one go. When the pill was handed over to Helan, there was still half an hour before the time limit she had set. Helan inspected the pill. Its color and effects were not bad. Very good. You passed my test. She returned the pill to Sima Yue. Thank you, Master, Sima Yue said gratefully. Helan had taught her a lot over the years. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to advance so smoothly. The spectators on the viewing platform were also happy for her. This way, she would be able to leave the secret order after passing all the examinations. However, the person on the rostrum did not move. It seemed like she had no intention of leaving. I'll give you half a day to recover your mental strength. After half a day, we'll move on to the next one. Ning Tianya said. Yes, Order Master. Sima Yue ate the pill and went to the side to rest and recover her mental strength. What else is she going to take? Could it be the poison sex examination? It should be. I heard that the poison sect had invited her to join them early in the morning. That should be it. Half a day later, Sima Yue had more or less recovered. She returned to the plaza and prepared for the next examination. However, the most shocking thing was that the person who had stood up to set the questions was not the poison sex order master. Instead, it was Qing Cheng, who had been at odds with her from the moment she had joined the sect and had tortured her grandson for half a year. Qing Cheng looked at Sima Yue and asked, Yue, are you ready? Chapter 2044. It was really Qing Cheng who came to take the test. When did she become Qing Qing's disciple? Didn't they fight so fiercely back then? How did they become Qing Qing's disciple? Everyone subconsciously looked at Qing Kai. Qing Kai was not unhappy or angry. Instead, he looked proud. What was going on? Could it be that he had forgotten that Sima Yue had made him drink the primer? At that time, they all thought that Qing Cheng would seek revenge on Sima Yue. Everyone was puzzled. Who knew that they had secretly become Qing Qing's disciple? It seemed that she was really a beast tamer. Do you guys think that there will be other tests after she completed this? Who knows? Even if she takes all the tests today, I won't be surprised. Me too. I'm quite calm now. Sima Yue's mental strength was very strong. Taming beasts only required mental strength, so this round of the exam was not a problem and passed smoothly. Just when everyone thought that there would be another round, Ning Tianya announced that the test was over. She had successfully completed all the tests. There's no poison test? That's right. Did she not join the poison sect? Many people asked. Ning Tianya had to answer. She only interacted with the poison sect. She did not formally become their disciple. Therefore, there's no test. All right, everyone could disperse. Sima Yue left with her masters. Those people wanted to look for her, but did not dare to go in front of the sect leader. They could only watch as she left. It had to be said that the beginning of the apprenticeship test had a huge impact on everyone. They had no choice but to reevaluate their position. They used to think that they were geniuses. Now that they were compared, they were all trash. Let's go back and cultivate. Sima Yue chatted with her masters for a while. When she came out, she saw Wu Lingyu leading Fushi and the other two. Where did you guys go? Sima Yue asked. Something happened. By the time we rushed back, we had already missed your previous assessment. Fushi said. After being together for so many years, she knew Fushi's temperament. The reason why he said something like this was not because it was too small, but because it was too important to talk about. You must be tired from the past few days. Go back and rest first, Wu Lingyu said. All right. As soon as Sima Yue returned to her courtyard on the small mountain, she realized that something was wrong. Her house was actually filled with the aura of many people. Because there would always be people interested in her life, her courtyard was protected by a barrier. If they didn't know the method, they wouldn't be able to get in. Of course, the people inside couldn't come out if they didn't know the way. After entering the yard, she asked Fushi and Starfish, Who are these people? What's going on? Fushi explained the situation and then took credit. If it weren't for me, these two little fellows would be in danger. Thank you. Sima Yue snorted and came in front of these people. She kicked one of them and said, "Who are these people? Have you found anything yet?" "Not yet. It's been so many days, and you still haven't found them." Sima Yue was surprised. "This is not the efficiency of the three of you. We haven't had time to interrogate them yet." Fushi said, "We brought them back and left them here. Then we want to watch your test." Sima Yue was speechless. Didn't these guys think that it was more important to interrogate these people? She turned her gaze to Starfish and Hai Shi. Starfish smiled. "It's more important to watch your master's test. Most importantly, even if they got the information, they had to wait for her to come out. So it was better to go and watch first." Sima Yue knew what they were thinking. She shook her head helplessly and turned to walk out. At the same time, she said, "Let's start now. I'm going to wash up. I hope you'll have the results when I come back." She had been tired for a few days and needed to take a bath and rest. While she was taking a bath, these people had tortured her. Although Starfish and Hai Shi had been following her, it was actually Wu Lingyu who had been training them. In addition, they had learned a lot from Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu. They were very good at dealing with people. In fact, Starfish and Hai Shi had been practicing in the Spirit Pagoda all these years, so their strength was not what it seemed to be. Fushi knew that she had a place where they could practice. He thought it was a small world, so he was not surprised that they were not there from time to time. He helped them, not because they could not defeat the other party, but because he had promised Sima Yue that he would protect them when she was not there. If they were taken away, he would not be able to explain it. When Yue came back with Wu Lingyu after taking a bath, they had finished interrogating these people. "Did you get the information?" "Yes, they said that they were entrusted by the vice sect leader, so they knew that we were here. They also said that they would take us away first, and if you want to find us, they would kill you halfway." Starfish said angrily. "These people are very brave." Sima Yue said faintly, "What force are they from?" They dared to come and snatch Starfish and Hai Shi, and even wanted to attack her. She had to admire their courage. "They're the people from the Dark Auction House." Hai Shi clenched his hands. The memory of the past came back with this name. "The underground auction house that auctioned you?" "Yes, that's right. Only people like them are not afraid of anything." Sima Yue said, "What's the matter with the jade pendant?" "They said that this belongs to a person they're going to auction this time. They're just small soldiers, so they have not seen her before. But the higher-ups asked them to bring this here, so they came." Hai Shi said, "Master, this jade pendant belongs to Little Ant. We suspect that she is the one who is going to be auctioned this time." Starfish said. Sima Yue saw that he wanted to say something, but stopped. She continued, "You want to go?" "Yes," Starfish admitted. He raised his head and looked at Sima Yue. Seeing that she was not angry, he continued, "When the Hai family met with such a disaster, those without bloodline were killed, and those with bloodline were captured. Little Ant is about the same age as us, so we were auctioned together. We went to the triangular area, but she was nowhere to be found. After so many years, we can't just ignore the news of her again." "All right, then let's go and take a look," Sima Yue said, "but you have to remember that many of your clansmen are still alive. You can't find all of them. Only when you meet them can you save them. Don't be obsessed with it, understand?" "Thank you, Master." They did not expect her to agree so easily. "Before we leave, let's return a big gift." Sima Yue's lips curled up, but the smile did not reach her eyes. Chapter 2045. Sima Yue immediately brought her people to look for Ning Tianya. The various sect masters and elders of the main sect were still with him. When they heard that Sima Yue had come, they were rather surprised. "Why is this girl here again? Wasn't she in a hurry to leave just now?" Ning Tianya smiled. "Let her in." Sima Yue brought the Starfish Hai Shi up. Behind them, there were people who carried those people in. This made everyone shocked. "Who are these people?" Luyan asked. "Let the Starfish tell you," Sima Yue said. "But before that, let's call the Vice Sect Master over to listen." "Moa, why are you asking her to come? When she comes, everyone will naturally know. Sima Yue said. Ning Tianya sent people to invite Mo Wei. Because the sect master had personally appeared, she arrived very quickly. When she saw those people on the ground, her eyes flashed, but she didn't show any abnormalities. All right, Mo Wei is here. What's the matter? Can you say it now? Ning Tianya said. Sima Yue didn't delay any longer. She bowed towards Ning Tianya and said, Sect Master, please help me. They had never seen her like this before. Everyone felt that it was strange. What's the matter? Say it. If you've really been wronged, I will help you. Ning Tianya said. Sima Yue looked at the starfish. The starfish recounted how she was tricked out and the results of the interrogation. When they heard that these people actually dared to come to the secret sect to kidnap people and even wanted to kill Sima Yue, everyone was enraged. Sima Yue was someone whom they had raised to conform to the times. These people actually dared to have designs on her. If Fushi hadn't been alert enough to save them, I would have definitely gone to save them after the assessment. At that time, I'm afraid that even if I passed the apprenticeship assessment, I wouldn't be able to walk out of the secret sect alive. Sima Yue continued the starfish's words. Sect Master, ever since I came to the secret sect, the vice sect master has always disliked me. She has been making things difficult for me behind Master's back. Out of respect for her as an elder, I tolerated these things and didn't tell Master. Now, she actually called people from the underground auction house to snatch my people and even wanted to kill me. No matter what, I can't take this lying down. Sovereign, please uphold justice for me. The hall immediately quieted down. Everyone's gaze turned towards Mo Wei. Lu Yan's gaze, in particular, was cold, causing Mo Wei's heart to tighten. However, she was not an easy person to deal with. Her expression didn't change as she said, Yue, you've been in the sect for over 20 years. Although I'm not close to you, you can't slander me like this. These people have nothing to do with me. They said that I asked them to come. Do you have any proof? These people are all here. Vice Sect Leader, what other evidence do you want? Sima Yue asked. These people are nothing. Anyone can make them do this kind of thing. If they say it's me, I can also say it's them framing me. Mo Wei said. Seems like Vice Sect Leader has already thought of a way out. Sima Yue laughed coldly. I'm speaking the truth. You have no proof. Just based on the fact that I don't like you all these years, you say it's me. Isn't that too rash? Sect Leader and the others won't think it's me just because you say it like that. Mo Wei's smile didn't change. Yes, these people's words might be useless. But where's your servant Lu Su? Why didn't she come with you? Sima Yue asked. Lu Su has been helping me handle the sex matters all these years. Naturally, she's gonna handle things now. Mo Wei said. Is that really the case? Sima Yue said faintly. Are you sure she didn't go to find these people? Mo Wei's hands clenched slightly as she denied. Of course not. So, if she didn't go to handle the sex matters, can it be considered as proof? Sima Yue asked. She's alone. Even if she handled the sex matters well, she would still have other matters to attend to. Do you think this can be considered as proof? Mo Wei retorted and said angrily. What's the point of slandering me like this? Sect Leader, could it be that the sect's rules allow disciples to slander the sect leader as they wish? If I'm slandering you, you can ask the sect leader to expel me from the sect. You can kill me or torture me as you wish. Sima Yue said coldly, but if I'm not slandering you, then you're colluding with outsiders to steal my people and even want to kill me. Wouldn't you be the same? Sect Leader, may I ask, if this is true, how will you uphold justice for me? This, Ning Tianya was somewhat hesitant. What do you plan to do? I've always believed in killing those who try to kill me. Sima Yue said, if I can prove that Vice Sect Leader did these things, then hand her over to me. Ning Tianya looked at Mo Wei and asked, Vice Sect Leader Mo, are you willing to accept her conditions? All right. With so many people watching, she couldn't have the slightest bit of hesitation. Moreover, every step she took was done very carefully. She didn't leave any evidence at all. She didn't believe that Sima Yue would be able to find anything. Yue, if you have any evidence, then take it out. Helan said, Masters, Sect Leader, please wait for a moment. I still need some time to obtain this evidence. Sima Yue said, do you need time to obtain it or time to fabricate it? Mo Wei snorted coldly. We don't have that much time to waste with you. Vice Sect Leader, don't be anxious. The two of you have to meet. Sima Yue said. Mo Wei heard her words and felt her heart tighten. However, she felt that it was impossible. These people were all here. Lu Su was so smart. If she didn't meet them, she wouldn't say anything. After a while, Sima Yue received the news and said to everyone, Sect Leader, Masters Vice Sect Leader Mo, I'll now present my evidence. Vice Sect Leader Mo, look carefully. See if this evidence was forged by me. After she finished speaking, she released a ray of spiritual energy into the air. An image appeared in the air. Looking at the environment, it was obviously in some mountain. The main character inside was Lu Su, who was handling things. Lu Su was searching in the mountain. Suddenly, she saw a ground full of corpses and a heavily injured black-clothed person. Lu Su obviously recognized that person. When she saw her, she frowned and said, What's wrong with you? Didn't you say that you would take the two sluts away during the graduation exam? Why are you still here? Take them away. You and Mo Wei are both liars. That person sat on the ground and said, You called us here and said that as long as Sima Yue wasn't here, the remaining people would be easy to deal with. However, the other party isn't like what you said. The people we brought with us are all dead, and those two people even managed to escape. If you tell us the truth, we can make more preparations. Your people were all killed by them. You have so many people, and you can't even deal with two little dolls. Useless. After Lu Su finished scolding, she remembered something very important. Do they know that we were the ones behind this? Chapter 2046. Ever since Lu Su and that person met, Mo Wei's face had turned pale, because that person looked exactly the same as the person lying on the ground. But this person was here. Then who was the person talking to Lu Su? Lu Su's clothes were only worn today, so this couldn't have been recorded beforehand. Then, what was up with that person? And the conversation between the two made her unable to refute. When they heard this, everyone understood that all of this was indeed Mo Wei's doing behind the scenes. Of course they don't know. The person said, They interrogated us, but we didn't say anything. But these people also guessed that it was definitely done by the people in the sect and wanted to go back and investigate. If I didn't pretend to be dead just now, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to escape this calamity. So they didn't suspect us? Lu Su said faintly as she walked behind that person. Her eyes were filled with killing intent. Yes, you all did very well. Seeing that you didn't tell us, I will collect your corpses. Lu Su said as she condensed her spiritual power and hit the back of his head. But her hand stopped in midair. The person who was on the ground just now somehow came to her side and grabbed her hand. What a black-hearted woman. A cold and disgusted voice made Lu Su understand that this person wasn't injured at all. Who are you? Lu Su's lifeline was grabbed, and she didn't dare to attack as she asked coldly. Who am I? You will know in a while. Let's go. Mier grabbed her hand, and the two disappeared from the spot. The corpses on the ground also disappeared, and the valley returned to its previous tranquility. The hall was dead silent. Sima Yue didn't need to say anything. Everyone understood. But the first to break the silence were Mi-Er and Lu Su. Yu, I've brought him. Mi-Er said to Sima Yue and pushed Lu Su to the ground. Her face was right in front of the person on the ground. Exactly the same. She looked at the person on the ground in horror, then turned to look at Mi-Er. It was really exactly the same. It's been hard on you. Sima Yue nodded at him. Mi-Er transformed into Sima Yue and stood beside her. An adult and a child, a man and a woman. Their faces were the same, but they looked exceptionally harmonious. This. Lu Su was stunned. The others were also stunned. Mi-Er is my contracted beast. Sima Yue said, Mi-Er doesn't have any other abilities, but its ability to transform is not bad. Vice Sect Leader, do you still want me to give you other evidence? Hee, Sima Yue, I didn't expect you to be so scheming. If I had known earlier, I would have killed you the moment you entered the sect. You've been an eyesore for me for so many years. Then I'll have to trouble you. Sima Yue sneered. Sect Master, we've agreed that as long as I present the evidence, she will be mine to deal with. Can I take her now? Ning Tianyao knew about the matter between Lu Yin and Mo Wei, so he looked at Lu Yin. Lu Yin remained silent and agreed to Sima Yue's request. Mo Wei panicked when she saw that Lu Yin didn't say anything. She cried out, Lu Yin, what did you promise my father? What's the meaning of your silence now? Haven't I done enough for you all these years? Lu Yin asked, if it wasn't for your father's entrustment, would you be able to do whatever you want in the Sound Sect for so many years? So, you don't admit it now, right? Mo Wei asked. Lu Yin, don't forget, you said that if I'm in danger, you'll save me to repay my father's kindness. I haven't repaid the debt of saving your life, so you haven't repaid it yet. Sima Yue knew that Lu Yin tolerated Mo Wei for a reason, but she didn't expect her father to be involved. Although she didn't know what happened in between, she could roughly guess. So I can't kill you today. If you want your master to fall into hell forever, you can try. Try? Sima Yue looked at Lu Yin and said, forget it. I'm not like you. On the surface, you seem to like my master, but in fact, the person you love the most is yourself. You said that my master owes you a debt of saving his life, so I'll consider it repaid today. You can leave. Yue. Lu Yin's face darkened, disagreeing with her way of doing things. Master, there's a saying that goes a master for a day is a father for life. There's also another saying that goes a son must repay a father's debt. So it's only right that I help you repay this debt of saving your life today. Sima Yue said, but, Mo Wei, if I see you again in the future, it'll be the time I take your life. It's still not certain who will win or lose. Mo Wei glared at her furiously, knowing that she couldn't stay in the Yin sect any longer and could only choose to leave. She had been in the Yin sect for so many years and had done many things for the Yin sect, but in the end, she couldn't compare to a person who had just joined the sect for more than 20 years. She saw that there were so many people, but no one was willing to speak up for her. She reckoned that they were all biased towards Sima Yue. So, this kind of sect wasn't worth her reluctance. Lu Su, let's go. She called out to Lu Su out of habit, but was stopped by Mi. Master only owes you her life, not hers. So, you can only leave on your own. Sima Yue said. You, or perhaps you're willing to give up this chance to live to her because of your deep relationship as master and servant. Give up this chance to live? How could that be possible? She was just a servant girl, so what if she died? Mo Wei retracted her gaze from Lu Su and walked out in large strides. When she passed by Sima Yue, she stopped and glared daggers at Sima Yue as if she wanted to cut Sima Yue into pieces. Just you wait. She gritted her teeth as she spat out these words. Then, she left the Yin sect without looking back. Thank you, Sect Master, for seeking justice for me. Since the matter has been settled, I'll head back first. Sima Yue bowed towards them and instructed Hai Shi and the rest. Bring her back. We'll settle our old scores with her. Hai Xing went forward and pulled Lu Su, who was paralyzed on the ground, away. The master and servant left the main hall just like that. These old fellows, on the other hand, had not said a single word from the beginning to the end. They did not even open their mouths, and the matter had been settled. Ning Tianyao noticed that Lu Yin's expression was not too good and said, I was wondering why this matter had escalated to this place based on her personality. Now, I know that she did it all for your sake. Even if she had to leave, she wanted to solve this problem for him and give him a peaceful life so that he could truly obtain spiritual freedom. She had always known that his heart had been imprisoned. Lu Yin smiled. I'm clearly the master. News of Mo Wei's departure from the Yin sect quickly spread. The disciples sighed and thought that it was better to be talented. Otherwise, if this matter had happened to them, who would give them justice? Otherwise, why would the Yin sect have the rule of not caring about the grudges between disciples? Chapter 2047. Sima Yue was in a good mood after chasing away Mo Wei, who had always been an eyesore. In the past 20 years, she and Lu Su had caused trouble for her from time to time, but it didn't hurt at all. She couldn't let the sect do anything to her. Yue had been waiting for her to make a move for a long time. This time, she was finally ruthless. How could she let go of such a good opportunity? They returned to the courtyard and handed Lu Su over to Hai Xing and the others. They knew how to deal with her and what to ask from her. As for the people from the underground auction, she left them with Ning Tianya. They would take care of them. Wu Lingyu returned to the house with her and asked, "When do you plan to leave?" "In the next 2 days." Sima Yue said, "Hai Xing is worried about her little aunt. It's better to go and see if it's true. If the things here are settled, we can leave." Wu Lingyu said, "Why? Did something happen in the Devil Realm?" Sima Yue asked. Wu Lingyu smiled and rubbed her hair. He couldn't hide anything from her. "It's nothing. They will take care of it." He didn't plan to tell her those things. She didn't have to worry about it. "Then I'll tell Master and the others. We'll leave tomorrow." Sima Yue said, "If I knew, I would have told the sect leader." Knowing that all the sect leaders had returned, she could only bid farewell to them one by one. When they returned, it was already the next day. The people from the sect knew that she was leaving. They were very reluctant and wanted to send her off. In the end, when they went to her courtyard, they found that she was already gone. "Didn't you say that you would leave after we came to say goodbye?" Konoha Chi was unhappy. "We're all going back. Won't we never see her again?" "There will be a chance in the future." Kanan said, "The clans summon us back. How can there be a chance?" Konoha Chi pursed his lips. "Have you forgotten about the guy beside her?" Kanan asked. "You mean Fushi?" "That's right." Kanan said. When they first saw Fushi, the two of them were surprised. They didn't expect to see him here. Everyone above knew that he wouldn't live for many years, but they saw him slowly growing up. This meant that his problem had been solved. Needless to say, it was Sima Yue who helped him. He still hasn't gone back yet. He must be trying to kidnap her up there. Jian Anxin continued. "I heard that he's stubborn and won't give up until he gets what he wants. Look, he'll bring her up there soon. But Yue still has a lot of things to do, she also told us." Konoha Chi said, "How long will it take for her to finish those things? Will Fushi have that much time to wait for her?" "It won't take long. The flow of time up there is different from the flow of time here. I don't even feel that much time has passed when I return." Kanan thought to himself, "But I still feel uncomfortable in my heart." Why did she leave without even saying goodbye? Konoha Chi felt very hurt. He really treated the two of them as friends, but they didn't even say goodbye. "Konoha Chi, Kanan Xin." Lu Yan's servant came from the side of the mountain and called the two. "What's the matter? This is what Yue left for you." The man handed 2 boxes to them and said, Yue said, "See you up there." Kanan Xin stared at Konoha Chi's words, put away the box, and took him away. When they walked out of the sound gate, Konoha Chi couldn't help but ask, "How did she know that we came down from above?" Kanan Xin also felt strange. Did Fushi tell her? "We know him, but he doesn't know us. How could he know our identity?" Konoha Chi said, "Then how did she know? Maybe there's something we don't know." Kanan Xin opened the box she gave. Inside was a small array. They didn't lack it, so they didn't use it. It was just a memory. Since she said "see you up there," it means that she has plans to go up there. Then we can go back. Well, let's go prepare for the graduation exam. At this time, Sima Yue was already very far away from the hidden sect. They sat on their flying beasts and flew towards the location of the next auction. "Konoha Chi and Kanan Xin are from our place?" Fushi heard Sima Yue say and shouted in surprise. "You don't know?" Sima Yue looked at Fushi, thinking that he knew, but didn't say it. "We do have Konoha clan and Kanan clan, but I've never seen them before. How could I recognize them?" Fushi's personality was not arrogant, but at least he was arrogant. How could ordinary people enter his eyes? "I thought you were keeping secrets," Sima Yue said. "So, they know about me?" Fushi asked. "What do you think?" Sima Yue said, "With your fame, who doesn't know about you?" "That's true. It's tiring to be so famous." Fushi sighed. His words were arrogant. "Even I didn't recognize them." How did you? Chanjiu recognized them. Sima Yue said, he stayed up there before and happened to see them, so he told me. I see. Kanoa Chi knows that you're going up, so he won't miss you and leave without saying goodbye. I don't have a choice. If we wait for those people to come, it'll be troublesome for us to leave. It's better to leave quietly. Sima Yue said, they'll understand. We're going to the underground auction. Are we going to participate or just snatch them? Fushi asked excitedly. No matter what, he liked it. It's not practical to snatch them directly. Wu Lingyu said, that's true. We have to plan well first. Sima Yue said, the underground auction was very careful. Every auction was held at a different location. They would send invitations to some of their regular customers. Only those with invitations could attend. Of course, the invitation card could also be given to someone else. This was the so-called the old bringing in the new. Even so, the auction would not reveal the specific location. They would only know on the day of the auction. These locations could be found in all kinds of places, such as mountains, the bottom of lakes, basements, and so on. Moreover, these places were not their strongholds at all. Even if someone followed this trail, they would only find places that had nothing to do with them. Sima Yue always felt that this kind of situation could not be described as a cunning rabbit having 3 burrows. Fortunately, these people know the location of the next auction. Otherwise, we wouldn't know where to find them. Sima Yue said, when we get there, don't act rashly. Chapter 2048. Ruoxue City was located at the border between the Ghost Society and the Soul Society. It was close to the Triangular region and was a bustling city. In the past, underground auctions were usually held in small cities. There were very few bustling cities like this. When Sima Yue and the rest arrived, no one noticed them. After all, there were too many people here recently. They were not considered eye-catching. As they had no clue, they went to find an inn to stay in. Luckily, there were many inns here. They barely managed to find one that still had empty rooms. It seems like many people know that the underground auction will be held in Ruoxue City. On their way here, they heard people talking about it a few times. That's why it won't be too hard to get the news. Wu Lingyu stood in front of the window with her and looked at the bustling crowd below. The underground auction has been getting bigger and bigger these few years. Now, they don't care about many people. Haixing said, if not, how would they dare to lay their hands on Sima Yue? I'm a little interested in the mastermind behind this. Sima Yue said, Lingyu, if I get caught, do you think I can see the mastermind? What are you planning to do again? Sima Yue asked. Sima Yue smiled at him. Didn't you guess it already? Are you going to mess around again? Wu Lingyu frowned. He didn't want her to take the risk. If you want to know if her aunt is in the auction, we can't wait until the auction. Sima Yue said, we have to go deep into the enemy's camp first. I think you just want to play. Fushi exposed her excuse. Anyway, our goal is the same. Sima Yue didn't deny it. Actually, she didn't want to play. She just wanted to find a mastermind. Master, let me and my sister go. Haishi said, anyway, they wanted to catch us before. If you two go, you'll probably be auctioned. Fushi had a sharp tongue, but it was the truth. Fushi is right. If you're caught and we can't find you, you'll be auctioned off. Sima Yu said with a smile. However, we really have to use your identity. Starfish and Hai-Shi had been thrown into the spirit pagoda by her. She was preparing to fuse with Thousand Resonance and transform into Starfish while Mi-Air transformed into Hai-Shi. Wu Lingyu couldn't stop her and could only let her do as she wanted. You go and pretend to be caught, I'll be auctioned. If you're auctioned, I'll buy you. That way, you'll rightfully belong to me. Wu Lingyu said. Yue, Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu, Sima Yue, Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu. And he Yue, Sima Yue US. I'm going to look for the invitation. He turned around and left with a sullen face. He walked to the door and saw that Fushi had no intention of following him. His face darkened even more as he said, Do you need me to invite you? Fu Shi wanted to say that he wanted to go with Sima Yue, but seeing Wu Lingyu's expression, he decided not to. This man was burning with lust and easily jealous. It was better not to provoke him. Wu Lingyu left with Fu Shi. Sima Yue merged with Thousand Resonance to transform into Hai Xing and Mi Air to transform into Hai Shi. Every time you call me out, you make me do this kind of thing. You're dragging me down? Mi Air was dissatisfied. Why did he always do this kind of thing? You want to do something else? Why don't you take Xiao Hei out to play? Sima Yue smiled. Oh, what are we going to do? Let's go quickly. We have a hurry. Sima Yue, the two of them went to the streets and didn't do anything. They wandered around the streets until late at night. Then they were caught in a small alley. The two of them resisted for a while. Then they were brought to a dark house. The two of them were tied up. After a while, they heard someone talking outside the door. Are you sure it's the Hai siblings? I've already compared it with the portrait that Mo Wei sent. It's them. Why are they here? The people we sent are dead. They should know that SpongeBob is here. They're looking for information on the streets today. I think they're here to save SpongeBob. How many of them are there? Is Sima Yue here? No, only the two of them. There's no one else. Only the two of them? Is this a trap? Send someone to check if Sima Yue is here too. She's just a little princess of the ghost realm. Is there a need to be so vigilant? Even if she's here, will she affect the auction? What do you know? This Sima Yue is very strange. It's better to be careful. The Ghost King is dead. She's just a little princess. What can she do? Be careful. It's better to be safe than sorry. We can't. Okay. You're right. Hurry up and check if Sima Yue is here. Otherwise, our manager will be worried. Yes. Okay, let's go in and take a look at the two people from the Hai family. Sima Yue sighed in her heart. These people were really cautious. No wonder no one had found out about them after so long. The door was opened. Light shone in from outside. 3 people walked in from outside. It should be the 3 people who were talking outside the door. Manager, this is the portrait that Mo Wei sent. A manager handed 2 portraits to a man who looked like he was in his 40s or 50s. The manager looked at the portrait and then looked at the 2 people who were tied up. He said, "It's them. Find someone to look after them. They're from the Hai family who have activated their bloodline power. The price will be very reasonable. Manager, don't worry. They're still unconscious. They won't wake up until the auction." The manager said, "With these 2 people and Song Zi, we can earn quite a lot this time." The young man said, "Young master, Song Zi isn't on the auction list this time." The manager said, "Not here. Didn't you say that she was already sent here? Something happened at the last minute. She's already been bought." The manager said, "Who bought her? Why wasn't she sold at the auction?" "Don't ask. The other party's price is definitely higher than the auction price." Okay then. The news was released earlier. Fortunately, we have these 2 as replacements. The young master said, "There are still 2 days before the auction. Why don't you let me play with her first and see if she's really that effective? If she's really that useful, leave her to me. Anyway, we'll tell the public that we're selling a member of the Hai family. Up to you. Just don't kill her." The manager said, "Go, send this girl to my room." Chapter 2049. Sima Yue felt herself being scooped up, carried on someone's shoulder, and brought into a room. It was a very comfortable room, but the fragrance from the incense burner affected the taste of the room. She was thrown to the ground. Although the floor was covered with a thick carpet, she still made a dull thud. Damn it, even if he didn't put me on the bed, he could have just put me on the chair. Even if he had to put me on the floor, couldn't he have done it more gently? Sima Yue complained with her eyes closed. The person who threw her went outside the room and said to the servant girls guarding outside, "Young master found another woman. Hurry and help her wash up. Young master will be back soon." "Yes." The servant girls replied respectfully. After the person left, these servant girls were no longer like this. They came to Sima Yue and said, "Tisk, she's not that pretty. I wonder how she got into young master's face. I heard that Hai Xing and Hai Shi from the Hai family were caught. Could this woman be Hai Xing? Hai Xing? That cauldron?" The arrogant voice was filled with contempt. This kind of person is born to be slept with. She's lucky to be the first to be slept with by young master. Taozi, are you jealous? Look at how jealous you are. You say it as if you're not jealous. Sigh, young master is just playing around. He likes us the most. Otherwise, why would he only have us by his side? I know, but I just feel uncomfortable when I see these people. I understand, but we have to take her to wash up first. Otherwise, young master will be angry. Sigh, let's go. Bang, bang. Before they could touch Sima Yue, the two of them fell to the ground. Sima Yue opened her eyes and looked at the incense burner in the room with disdain. She used her spiritual energy, and the incense burner was broken. However, the room was still filled with the strong smell. Disgusting. Sima Yue stood up from the ground and looked at the two servant girls. She threw them to the side room. She messed around in the room for a while and then smiled evilly. Since you like to play, I'll let you have fun. Hearing the commotion outside, she flashed into the spirit pagoda. Not long after, Lan Yu opened the door and walked in. The first thing he saw was a naked woman lying on the bed. Her head was tilted inwards, so he couldn't tell if she was a starfish. He didn't suspect anything. No one dared to do anything in his territory. However, the fragrance today seemed to be a little lighter, and it was a little different for what he liked. Once this matter was over, he would have a good talk with Taozi and Lin Mingya. They shouldn't take advantage of his favor and not do things with all their heart. If this happened again, he would swap the two of them. He came to the bedside and looked at the person on the bed. He felt his blood rush to his head, and he couldn't think of anything else. He just wanted to tear that perfect body apart and devour it. Sima Yue hid in the spirit pagoda and saw the scene outside that was not suitable for children. She asked Little Spirit to pay attention to it while she ran to find some spirit fruits and brought them to Sima Luxian. Sima Luxian made a futon on the edge of a cliff. He liked to sit on the futon and look into the distance. Because his chaotic river flowed under the cliff, after being immersed for a long time, his body also had an ancient aura. After staying in the spirit pagoda for so long, although Sima Yue would let him go outside for a while from time to time, he had stayed here for too long. His whole person felt a little detached from the secular world. Seeing his white hair, Sima Yue felt very guilty. If she hadn't left him in the spirit pagoda, he wouldn't have followed her to the ghost realm. After this matter was settled, she would go to the Ghost King to verify the Cardinal Point's divine seal. The sooner she found her mother, the sooner they could reunite. Sima Luxian felt someone coming. He opened his eyes and saw her. He smiled at her. Yu, father. Sima Yue walked over and handed him the spirit fruits. She took out a futon and sat down beside him. Sima Luxian took a spirit fruit and played with it in his hand. Why did you come in? I came in to hide for a while. Sima Yue didn't intend to tell him what happened outside. Where's Wu Lingyu? She went to do other things. Sima Luxian didn't ask anymore. Father. Yes. After I settle this matter with the starfish, I'll go back to find grandfather and then look for the Cardinal Point's divine seal to save mother. Sima Yue said, Father, wait for me. Okay. Sima Luxian didn't blame her for her decision. He only blamed himself for not protecting her and letting her suffer so much. Do whatever you want to do. As long as I know that your mother didn't suffer, I won't be anxious. Your mother and I can wait. Dan Shan told them that the Ghost King went to change the seal. Although Yukaluo didn't have freedom, she didn't suffer. Father, we will definitely reunite. Sima Yue didn't know if this was for her father or for herself. This road was too long. If it wasn't for this belief in her heart, she didn't know if she would have persevered until now. My Yu is the best. I believe everything you say. Sima Luxian patted her head lovingly. Take it slow. Don't give yourself pressure. Okay. Sima Yue held his hand and leaned her head on his arm. A smile gradually appeared on her face. She talked to Sima Luxian for a long time in the spirit pagoda. Seeing that it was almost time, she left. When she came outside, Lan Yu had already fallen asleep. She was still holding a happy peach in her arms. She walked up and fed a pill to Lan Yu. Ugh! Lan Yu was awakened by a severe pain. When he opened his eyes, he saw the starfish standing in front of him and a naked person in his arms. "Why are you there?" He looked at the starfish, then looked at the bruised peach who was full of love marks. He thought of the different smell he smelled just now and immediately knew that he had been set up. Young Master Lon, although they can't wait to climb into your bed every day, you have to learn to be gentle with them. Sima Yu sighed. "Starfish, how dare you set me up?" Lan Yu shouted. "We didn't faint at all. Your reaction isn't slow," Sima Yu said. What did you do to me?" "I just gave you some poison," Sima Yu said lightly. "What poison did you give me?" "Give me the antidote," Lan Yu scolded in a low voice. But because of the pain in his stomach, his voice became weak. "I can give it to you, but you know what I want." Sima Yu took out a small bottle and played with it in her hand. Lan Yu saw the small bottle, and his eyes flashed with desire. But he didn't touch it. Instead, he asked, "You want to know where Sponge is?" Chapter 2050. Smart. Sima Yu laughed. "It's easy to talk to smart people. Sponge isn't here." Lan Yu broke out in cold sweat from the pain. "Give me the antidote first. I'll find her for you." "Give it to you? I'm afraid you'll catch me immediately." Sima Yu said, "Where's Sponge?" Lan Yu held his stomach with one hand, tried to ease the discomfort, but it was useless. "You're not Starfish." He stared at Sima Yu. "Who said I'm not? You've never seen me before." "Starfish calls Sponge Little Ant, but you say Sponge's name is very natural." Lan Yu said, "You're Sima Yu. Hee. You're indeed a smart person." It was a pity that he didn't use his intelligence on the right path. His thoughts were all on beauties. "So it's true," Lan Yu said. "How did you change your appearance? I heard you're a great beauty. You shouldn't look like this, right?" Sima Yu raised her eyebrows. "Seems like you're doing well." "Of course not. Look, I'm about to die from the pain." Lan Yu said, "See, we don't have any conflicts. You just want me to find Sponge for you. Give me the antidote, and I'll find someone for you. I promise I won't cheat you. When I'm better, we'll have an easier time talking. I can give it to you." Sima Yu shook the bottle. "It's hard for us to talk if you're like this." She threw the bottle to Lan Yu, and Lan Yu took out the pill and sniffed it. After confirming that it wasn't a poison, he ate it. The pill took effect quickly, and in a few breaths of time after he ate it, his stomach stopped hurting. "This pill of yours is really magical." Lan Yu laid on his side on the bed, supporting his head with one hand. The bedsheet only covered his sensitive parts. "Where's Sponge?" Sima Yu asked. "The weather is good. A talented man and a beautiful woman. A single man and a single woman in a room. Don't you think we should do something else?" Lan Yu gave him a flirtatious look. "Even if you are in the mood, do you have the time?" Sima Yu smiled as she watched Lan Yu check her body. When she realized that there was still poison in her body, her expression changed. "You didn't give me the antidote," he said with a sullen face. "Haha, do you think you're too naive, or I'm too stupid?" Sima Yu asked. "Then what did you feed me? Temporary?" "That's right. It can relieve your pain temporarily," Sima Yu said. "As long as you bring me the sponge, I'll give you the antidote." "Are you so sure that I'll listen to you?" "Yes." "Why?" "You don't know me." "Because you're a pervert." "Because I'm a pervert? Don't tell me you're trying to use my lecherous nature to seduce me." Sima Yu ignored the teasing in his words. "Most of the time, lecherous people are afraid of death. If you happen to be one of the remaining ones, then I can only say that my luck is bad. However, it doesn't matter to me if you die. It's the same if I ask someone else. So you won't lose out." Lan Yu pouted. "Sima Yu is indeed Sima Yu. Your reputation is not just for show. So what's your plan?" "My plan, of course, is to cooperate with you." Lan Yu sat up, not minding that the quilt slid down and revealed his perfect figure. His clothes were already torn to shreds. He took out a new set of clothes from his space ring and put it on slowly. Sima Yu was not shy or lecherous. She just watched him put on his clothes. "Let's go." He put on his clothes and walked out. "Where are we going?" Sima Yu was slightly startled and did not react immediately. "Of course we're going to ask about the sponge's whereabouts." Lan Yu said, "I'll ask about the sponge's whereabouts, and you have to give me the antidote. We'll talk about it," after you ask. Lan Yu took her to find the chief steward. The chief steward was making arrangements for the auction. Seeing Lan Yu bring the starfish over, he asked, "Why are you here again? Isn't it because she's in a hurry? So I'm here to help her ask about the sponge's whereabouts." Lan Yu found a seat and sat down. Sima Yue stood behind him. When the chief steward heard him ask about the sponge, the smile on his face faded. He said, "I told you not to ask about the sponge anymore. This is not what I want to ask. You know that I have tender feelings for the fairer sex. When the starfish cried in front of me, my heart softened. Chief steward, just tell me about the sponge's whereabouts so that she can give up." Everyone knew that Lan Yu was a romantic. Since he said so, the chief steward did not doubt him. However, he still did not intend to tell him about the sponge's whereabouts. "It's just a woman. You've done so many in the past, but I've never seen you do anything for anyone," the chief steward said. "The starfish is different from them." Lan Yu said, "She'll stay by my side in the future. In that case, this cauldron has some use, but I don't see your strength improving. I can feel the changes in my body. You can't see it. It's only been a short time." Lan Yu said, "Chief steward, just tell her. Let her know that the sponge was bought by someone she can't afford to offend. Then she can give up. If she knows, she'll ask you to save her." "How can that be?" Lan Yu refused. "I'm helping her ask because I don't want her to cry in front of me. Moreover, it won't hurt me. If I know that the other party can't be offended, I'll be stupid if I still go." Sima Yue kept her head down so that no one could see her expression. Hearing this, she raised her head and said with a smile, "I just want to know the whereabouts of my little aunt. If I can't afford to offend them, I won't let the young master take the risk. If the chief steward doesn't believe me, I can swear." When Lan Yu heard this soft and weak voice, he thought of how she didn't change her expression when she saw his body in the room. He couldn't help but ridicule, pretending. She really knows how to pretend. The chief steward saw that Lan Yu was not going to leave if he didn't tell him, so he could only sigh and say, "It's not that I don't want to tell you, but it will affect other people's lives more or less. So what? Anyway, people will find out sooner or later." Lan Yu said, "Don't keep me in suspense. Tell me who it is." "The person who bought it is from the palace. I heard that the Ghost Empress sent someone to buy it. She wants to reward a subordinate," the chief steward said. "Ghost Empress?" Lan Yu looked at Sima Yue and saw that she was astonished. She retracted her gaze and asked, "Then do you know who it is to be rewarded to?" "How would I know?" the chief steward said. "Anyway, there are only a few people who can make the Ghost Empress take action. But no matter who it is, it's not someone you can touch. This matter ends here. You're not allowed to ask again. Do you understand?" Chapter 2051. Sima Yue was very surprised that Anaheim would do such a thing. She thought about the man beside Ghost concubine in her heart, but she had no clue. Since she had gone to the capital, it would be better to ask Deja for help. "Starfish, you heard it. I really can't do anything about it." Lan Yu turned to her and said, "Don't nag me in the future." "Yes, I won't do it again," Sima Yue said obediently. "Do you plan to take her in?" the chief manager asked. "See, it's still fresh," Lan Yu said. "There are still 2 days before the auction. You have 2 days to think about it." "I know." Lan Yu also wanted to deal with this matter in these 2 days. He stood up and said to the chief elder, "Since you know what you need to know, we won't disturb you anymore. Starfish, let's go." "Yes, young master." Starfish followed Lan Yu and left. The chief manager's face darkened and said, "Go, gather everyone here." "What's wrong, chief manager?" "Something happened to young master." "Isn't young master fine?" "Young master didn't sleep with Starfish, but he was restricted by her," the chief manager said. If something didn't happen, he couldn't think of any other reason. "Didn't young master say that he already—" "She doesn't have the smell of sex, but young master's smell is very strange. Looks like he's been tricked. Add _250 left. This starfish is so powerful. To be able to trick young master under our noses, she is indeed powerful. Go and gather everyone." The chief manager was a little worried about Lan Yu. If something wasn't caught by Starfish, he wouldn't have compromised. Now he only hoped that nothing would happen to him. Lan Yu brought Sima Yue back to his room. Peach was still sleeping in the same position. Hey, you heard it. It's not that I don't want to help you. It's that I can't help you. Lan Yu said, I've done everything I can. Shouldn't you give me the antidote? Sima Yue wasn't as anxious as before. She waved her hand and put down the bed curtains to cover the person on the bed. Then she sat on a chair and looked at him leisurely. If I give you the antidote now, won't I be cutting off my escape route? What do you mean? Didn't you pass the information that you were trapped to the chief manager when you went to interrogate him? I'm guessing that this house has already been surrounded? Sima Yue looked at him calmly. I didn't. You were following me from the beginning. It's not like you didn't hear what I said. I didn't do anything strange. You can't slander me. Slander you? We'll know in a while whether or not I'm slandering you. Sima Yue said, Since we have time now, why don't we have a bet? Will I destroy your auction, or will your people kill me? My little beauty, you can't do that. If you destroy the auction, then I'll be in trouble. I'll never be able to go back. Lan Yu winked, trying to shed some tears. Stop squeezing. It'll affect your image. Sima Yue said, Where can't you go back? Family? People like us don't have any family. Lan Yu sighed. You don't have a family? Sima Yue asked. No. Then how did you become the young master here? I don't know. I became the young master out of nowhere. Do you think you're stupid or I'm too naive? All right. You're so hard to fool. Lan Yu said, But my young master is different from what you think. How is it different? Did the people in the auction treat you badly? Or do you have no money or power? Seems like you know how to trick people. Lan Yu sighed, But you're right. I have no money or power. Even if you take me as a hostage, they won't care. Why don't you give me the antidote and leave now? Whether it's useful or not, we'll know after we try. Sima Yue said, If you're willing to tell me who's the mastermind behind the auction, I'll give you the antidote. Didn't we agree that you'll give me the antidote if I know where Sponge is? But you broke the contract. You revealed me. Lan Yu saw that Sima Yue wasn't anxious at all. She was drinking tea leisurely and said, How about this? I'll bring you out and you give me the antidote. Tell me who's behind this and I'll give you the antidote. If not, I'll die and you'll die with me. Sima Yue said, If not, I'll escape and you'll die. If I tell you, I'll die too. I'll die even faster. Lan Yu was helpless. Didn't you say they don't treat you well? Even if they don't treat you well, I can't say it. All right then. Sima Yue nodded and didn't force him. She poured herself another cup of tea and slowly sipped it. There was already movement outside. They could feel that many people had come here. The two people in the house were still staring at each other. Neither of them had the intention to compromise. There are people outside. If you don't leave now, you won't be able to. Lan Yu said, Aren't you afraid that I won't give you the antidote after I leave? If you die here, I won't have the antidote. Lan Yu sighed. If you're alive, I'll at least have a glimmer of hope, right? Seems like you don't have any status as a young master. Sima Yue said, Let me guess. You're either a direct descendant of the family, or you were picked up by the family. Lan Yu only smiled. He didn't admit or deny it. Sima Yue looked at his expression and said, Seems like I was wrong. You're a direct descendant of the family, but you're not favored. Your status in the family isn't high, and you're being bullied. You're even being pushed out as a shield. Lan Yu's expression changed a little, but it quickly returned to normal. Young master, someone shouted from outside. Coming. Lan Yu's face darkened. He came to the bedside and threw the person on the bed onto the ground without any pity. He flipped the bed over and revealed a hole. Sima Yue looked at his smooth movements and raised her eyebrows. You're quite skilled. Come, let's go out. Lan Yu waved at her. Sima Yue hesitated for a while, but still walked over and followed him down the tunnel. They walked through many twists and turns, and when they came out again, they had already left the house. We're here. Lan Yu went out first, and Sima Yue followed behind. She finally had the chance to ask the question that she had been holding in all the way. You're running away from those people, she said with certainty. You're too sensitive. I'm helping you. Lan Yu refused to admit it. Sima Yue stared at him without saying a word. All right, you're right. I'm running away from them. Lan Yu said, These people said that they're here to deal with you. Who knows if there's someone who will take advantage of the chaos to deal with me. You're really miserable. Chapter 2052. Lan Yu ignored the sarcasm in her words and looked at her surroundings. Lan Yu, I notice that you're very good at this. Do you do this often? Sima Yue asked again. That's right. Every time I go to a place, I will look for a way to escape. I found this tunnel by accident. I guess the previous owner was also someone who ran for his life often. Lan Yu was not embarrassed. Actually, Sima Yue was right. He was someone who was afraid of death. Living was definitely the first thing in his life dictionary. You're right. Only by living can one think of other things. Sima Yue agreed with his point of view. To those who worked hard to survive, no matter good or bad, it was worth affirming. Of course, her affirmation did not mean that she agreed with everyone's way of doing things. She would not tolerate those who did evil things. Lan Yu did not expect Sima Yue to not discriminate against her for running away. There was even a trace of affirmation in her words. Lan Yu looked at her strangely. What's there to be surprised about? Sima Yue snorted. I'm talking about everyone, not just you. Everyone is just trying to survive. Hee hee. Lan Yu laughed. Little princess, you're really strange. Not only are you not high and mighty, you even went into the tiger's den for your servant. Lan Yu said, You're only half right. Sima Yue said, I'm here for starfish, but mainly to investigate the background of the underground auction. I want to know what kind of background they have that they would want to kill me. Are you kidding me? You're so famous in the world of spirits and souls. Who would dare to kill you? Lan Yu did not believe her. Seeing that she was not joking, she widened her eyes and said, That's impossible? Did they really do such a thing? Of course. Do you really think that I'm so free? Sima Yue said, You, as a young master, don't know. I've already said that I have no money or power. How would I know all these? Lan Yu shrugged. All right, let's pretend that you don't know. Sima Yue said, Anyway, we don't know how to make the antidote. You should know about the 100 insect 100 grass pill. It's made of 100 types of poisonous herbs and 100 types of poisonous insects. If you don't know which poisonous insects and herbs are used, as long as you make a mistake, the antidote will become poison. I'm old now, so I can't remember the old recipes. It turned out to be the 100 worm 100 grass pill. No wonder he was in so much pain before. If it was an ordinary poison, he might be able to find a poison master to develop an antidote. But this 100 worm 100 grass pill, other than her, no one dared to let him try it. Even though the symptoms of poisoning were the same, the antidote was vastly different. At _250_left, you actually used the 100 insect 100 grass pill. Consider yourself ruthless. Lan Yu gnashed her teeth and said, Thanks for the compliment. Sima Yue laughed. Don't even think about killing me to find the antidote. I didn't concoct only one antidote. If you find the wrong one, I won't be responsible for your death. You're amazing. It's no use praising me. I won't give you the antidote. How was he praising her? Where was her face? Anyway, you don't have any status in the family. If you want to exchange it for your life, then I can't force you. Sima Yue said, Now that we've escaped, we'll part ways here. Now that you've escaped, don't tell me you don't care about Haishi anymore. He shouldn't have the ability to escape like you, right? Give me the antidote and I'll help you save him. No need. Sima Yue said and used the power of the contract to summon me heir to her side. When Lan Yu saw me heir, his heart was so gloomy that he wanted to kill someone. It was obvious that it was not a human's aura. How could those people not recognize it? Goodbye. Sima Yue nodded at him and left with me heir. Lan Yu was betting that Sima Yue was interested in him. It was only after she left that he realized that she really didn't care if he said it or not. How long more do I have to live? He shouted at her back view. 2 days. You can still participate in your auction once more. You're welcome to look for me anytime. Sima Yue's voice sounded. Lan Yu kicked a big tree at the side, directly creating a hole in the thick tree roots. Damn it. The butler was right. This woman was indeed too strange. He couldn't deal with her the same way he dealt with normal people. Ugh, his stomach started to hurt again. He knelt on one knee and used his hand to support his stomach, but it couldn't relieve the pain. Young master. A secret guard appeared from the sky and wanted to help him, but was stopped by him. Sima Yue. He clenched his teeth, and beads of sweat rolled down his face. He wanted to tear her apart with his own hands. Young master, should we tell old master? The secret guard asked worriedly. What's the use of telling him? His heart is with that woman. Lan Yu said in disgust. Send someone to investigate. Find out everything about Sima Yue coming here. Young master. The butler brought a few people out from the tunnel. Seeing Lan Yu in pain, he shouted, Young master, what happened to you? Send someone to check if the auction items are still here. If they're not, immediately transfer the items from other places here. Lan Yu clenched his teeth and said, What's going on? The butler asked, What did that starfish do to you? She fed me the 100-worm, 100-grass pill. I have to chase after her now and get the antidote. If necessary, I will reveal the secret here. This auction will be hosted by someone else. You guys should be prepared to leave at any time. Lan Yu's eyes revealed a cold, killing intent. I didn't expect young master to be hurt by her. I didn't get the antidote even after bringing her out. If I knew earlier, I would have trapped her inside and forced her to hand over the antidote. It's not that easy. I can't trap her. Even if I didn't use this trick, she would have other ways to break out. We might even suffer a greater loss. Lan Yu said, Now, at least I can gain her trust. Young master, butler, many of our auction items are missing. A guard ran over and said. Lan Yu and the butler were not surprised. After knowing that the two of them were fake, they knew that there would be problems with the auction items. Fortunately, Lan Yu had already sent out the orders. There were other auction items nearby that could be brought back to make up the numbers. Lan Yu was in pain for a period of time and recovered. However, they knew that this was only temporary. Young master, what do we do about the antidote? Do as I instructed. I will get the antidote myself. You guys can go. Although the butler was worried, the auction was very important. He could only bring them back. Chapter 2053. Sima Yue contacted Wu Lingyu, got his location, and went to look for him. Yue, you're back so soon? Fushi was surprised to see Sima Yue. Yeah, something happened, so I came back. Sima Yue said, Did you find out anything? That jade pendant belongs to Starfish's Aunt Sponge, but she's not here. She was bought by Anaheim. Anaheim? Isn't she a girl? Even if she bought Sponge, it wouldn't be of any use to her, right? She said that she wanted to give it to someone close to her, but I think that the butler's words are a little exaggerated, so I can't believe it completely. Sima Yue said, I've already contacted my cousin's people on the way back and asked him to investigate in the capital. Then have you found out who's behind this? Fushi asked. I have some clues, but I haven't confirmed it. Sima Yue said, Someone will come and clear my doubts. What did you do this time? It's nothing much, just poisoning someone or something. Sima Yue said, Did you get the invitation letter? With me around, what's there to worry about? Wu Lingyu showed her the invitation, and she saw that he got a first-class room invitation, so she knew that it wasn't easy for him. That Mier stole half of the items from the auction, so I don't know if the auction will still be held. She smiled apologetically. If she knew this would happen, she wouldn't have asked him to do this. Mier's not bad. He actually thought of this. Fushi said, What treasures are there? I didn't ask. If you're interested, you can ask him later. Sima Yue said, Someone's coming. Don't tell me they're chasing you because you stole their things? Fushi said, They're here to deliver the news. Sima Yue wasn't surprised to see Lan Yu. Although she didn't believe what he said, she knew that he would come to her for the antidote. As long as he was by her side, she could always get some information out of him. When Lan Yu saw her, she looked like she was about to cry. After you left, I was in pain again. It almost killed me. It shouldn't hurt for long this time. For the next 2 days, it will hurt once every 2 hours. Every time, it will last longer. You'd better be mentally prepared, Sima Yue said. Do you have to be so cruel? I already helped you ask about Sponge's whereabouts, and I even brought you out of the tunnel at that time. You can't do this to me, Lan Yu complained. However, His tone was too familiar, which made Wu Lingyu look at him a few more times. That cold gaze made the surrounding temperature drop a lot. You're right. Since you've helped me, I'll give you a temporary antidote the next time you have a stomachache, Sima Yue replied seriously. You're so nice. Lan Yu gnashed her teeth and said, Thank you for your compliment. Sima Yue accepted it with a clear conscience. Then I can only follow you. Lan Yu said, If you tell me about your situation, I can give you the antidote immediately. Sima Yue said, But if you don't choose this path, what can I say? I already said that I don't know, but you don't believe me. Then take it that your position in the family is not high. You should know who's behind you, right? I know. The head steward brought me up since I was young. If he says that I'm the young master, then I'm the young master. As for the others, I don't know. Since he's the head steward, then what about the people above him? Don't tell me you haven't seen them before. I've seen them before, but the people above all wear masks that block out divine sense. I don't know who they are or what they look like. Lan Yu said, what he said was true. Other than the head steward and him, the young master, the people in charge of the underground auction did not know what they looked like. Moreover, he really had not seen them before. Even if he was brought up by them and knew everything about the underground auction, he did not know who the people who brought him up were. His adoptive father said that he was only an adopted son and could only do these shady things. On the surface, those things had nothing to do with him. He could not know and could not interfere. But in this auction house, he was the future successor. However, no matter how much he was valued, he did not feel that he was important. Otherwise, why would he not tell him his identity? He thought so much, but his face did not change. He looked at Sima Yue sincerely. Sima Yue did not say whether she believed him or not. Her stare made him feel pressured. This woman was not easy to deal with. In the end, he opened his mouth again. What I said is true. Do you believe me or not? What does it matter if I believe you or not? If you say that you don't know who it is, then don't know. Anyway, I don't know who's behind this, so I won't give you the antidote. Anyway, it's only for these 2 days. Sima Yue said. Lan Yu was speechless. Why don't you let me do his things for you? No need. I don't have anything else for you to do. Sima Yue shook her head. Then I'll give you a special invitation to the auction. They won't charge you any commission. How can you still hold an auction when the items are gone? The items that you took were confirmed this time. We still have backups. You lost other people's auction items, but I don't see you getting anxious. Those items were from the auction. They were sold to the auction, and we put them up for auction. No wonder. You guys are really unscrupulous. You can earn a lot of profit from the transaction, right? We have to take a huge risk too. Risk and profit are equal. Lan Yu heard her words and looked at her deeply. Yue, are we going to the auction? Fushi asked. No, we're going back to the capital. Sima Yue wanted to go back and settle this matter as soon as possible. Then, she would look for the Ghost King and check on her. As for the background of the auction, she could feel that Lan Yu would not tell her. Lan Yu had been following her for these 2 days. Previously, he thought of using the great manager to exchange for the antidote. Now, he could not get the antidote at the moment. Sima Yue kept her word. The next time he was in pain, she gave him a temporary antidote. Just now, the pain only lasted for a short period of time. However, he could clearly feel that the pain this time was worse than the previous 2 times. Just as he was worrying about the antidote, his people contacted him. When he saw the message from the secret guard, he was slightly stunned. Then he smiled. He went to look for Sima Yue. At this moment, she was preparing to return to the capital. Let's talk. You're going to tell me who's behind you? Sima Yue asked. No, I have something else to talk to you about. Lan Yu said. Give me the antidote, and I'll tell you where Lung Yun and the rest are. Chapter 2054. Sima Yue narrowed her eyes and stared at Lan Yu. After a while, she said, Sure enough, if he didn't have a high status in the auction house, how could he get this news so quickly? I can't help it. Everyone wants to live. Lan Yu said, Ha! Sima Yue smiled and took out a bottle and threw it to him. Lan Yu took out the pill and smelled it. It was similar to the previous one. This time he didn't doubt it. and took the pill directly. After a while, he felt that the spiritual power in his body returned to normal. He knew that the poison was cured. Tell me, where are Lung Feng and the others? Sima Yue said. Dark Sea City. Lan Yu took out a note and threw it to her. It was some news about Lung Feng and the others. After Sima Yue read it, she burned the note with a flame and said to Wu Lingyu, "Let's go to Dark Sea City." Yue, didn't you ask your cousin to check it? There has been no news for so many years. How can there be news at this time? How do they know that you're looking for Lung Feng and the others? Fushi said suspiciously, "Is this a trap? If it's a trap, we have to go." Sima Yue said, "These people were all her mother's former subordinates. According to what they said about her mother's character, it was impossible for her to leave them alone. How can we confirm the authenticity of news?" Wu Lingyu asked. Lung Yin said that there's a code between them. This code is only known to them. Their code is in this news. Sima Yue replied. Because of the code, Lung Feng and the others should be there. If it was a complete set, it was also a trap. In that case, let's go. Wu Lingyu said. @_250_left, she called out Chongming. The three of them flew on Chongming's back and headed for Dark Sea City. Lan Yu watched her leave without saying a word to him. He suddenly felt a little lost. How did you get this? The chief steward told the president. The president asked someone to send it. You're here so soon? The president is nearby. When he heard about you, he sent someone to deliver the news. He didn't come. Oh. Lan Yu was silent for a while before she muttered to herself doubtfully. How did foster father know that this information would be useful to Sima Yue? Young master, are we going back? Go back and tell the chief manager that the auction will go on, as usual. Don't worry about anything else. Young master, if you don't go back, the head manager will say something. Don't worry about him. If he asks, just tell him that I went to Nether Sea City. Young master wants to look for them. I'm just going to watch the fun. Go ahead. Yes, I will return as soon as possible. They were in contact with their masters and knew how to find them. Sima Yue returned to the city in Chongming. After a few teleportation circles, she arrived at the Nether Sea City. Nether Sea City was a mixed city of soul race and ghost race. Because it was close to Avicii Hell, people from there would occasionally come here. Sima Yue came out of the teleportation circle and was immediately locked on by dozens of eyes. These people looked at them with inquiry, curiosity, aggression, and all kinds of interest in their eyes. These people look really scary. Fushi sniffed and said in disgust, The three clans live together here, so there should be people coming and going. But looking at them, they seem to be interested in strangers. Wu Lingyu said, We will know the reason. Sima Yue said, and it seems that we won't have to wait long. Shall we go to the inn first or find Lung Feng? Fushi asked. Let's go to the inn first. We don't know the situation here, so we'd better not do anything rashly. They went to find an inn to stay, and the shopkeeper warmly gave them a small, independent courtyard. When they went in, Sima Yue looked at the courtyard next door and asked, Are there people living next door? Yes, they have been living there for several days. The shopkeeper said, How many days? It seems that your business here is good. Sima Yue said faintly. These two courtyards are relatively small, so it's easy to rent them out. The shopkeeper explained. Shopkeeper, the three races live together here, so it should be more chaotic, right? It is, but not as chaotic as people say. Then who is in charge of this place? There are almighty beings from the three clans here. Usually, it's just small fights, so those almighty beings don't care. However, when it comes to big matters between the three clans, the almighty beings will come out and interfere. The shopkeeper said, Powerful figures? Is Silmer one too? Shoo, Silmer's name can't be called casually. He is the powerful figure of Avicii Hell, so you have to call him Silmer the Venerable. The shopkeeper stopped her. If people of Avicii Hell hear you call his name, you will be arrested. Okay, thank you for your reminder. Didn't people of Avicii Hell say that they can't leave there? How can they come here? Sima Yue asked curiously. That means people who break the oath can't leave, but some aborigines can, as long as they can find a way. There are ways, of course, but these ways are not public, or they will think of other places. The shopkeeper said, Okay, this is the courtyard. Are you satisfied? If not, there are other places. Here it is. This is the deposit. Sima Yue took out a bag of crystals and gave it to the shopkeeper, asking him to leave. Is Silmer the one who caught Lung Feng and the others? Yes, according to the news, Lung Feng and the others were taken away by Silmer's people. If they are really in Silmer's place, it will be troublesome to rescue them. If they are really in his place, we have to rescue them no matter how troublesome it is. So, what we need to do now is to verify the news. It happened so many years ago. If there are only 3 of us, we don't know how long it will take. There will be a way, Sima Yue said. Fushi looked at Sima Yue's confident look and knew that she had found a way. Soon, he understood that it was not that she had a way, but that she had been prepared for a long time. He was peeling walnuts at the side and looked at the person standing in front of them from time to time. Little princess, I am Di Giugio. Everyone calls me Giugio. Did you get the news from the general? Di Giugio asked. No, I got the news from someone else. What's wrong? We just got the news back, so we shouldn't have come so early. Di Giugio said. Little princess, where did you get the news? Logically speaking, no one should know about this yet. It means that someone is investigating Lung Feng and the others. Sima Yue said. She suddenly thought of something and smiled knowingly, saying, so that's how it is. Chapter 2055. In 1 second, she remembered Love Divided by You. Read book, web no pop-up window, free to read. Seeing her like this, Fushi asked, Yue, what did you think of? I guess the person behind this underground auction. Sima Yue said, Giorgio, is there anyone with the surname Lan around Anaheim? Yes, the head of the Lan family, Lan River, has a good relationship with Anaheim. Before Anaheim entered the palace, the 2 of them had feelings for each other. After they separated, Lan River still treated Anaheim well and did many things for her, becoming her weapon. Di Giorgio replied, I see. Wu Ling, you understood what she meant. You think that Lan River is the person behind this? Fushi asked, but there are many people with the surname Lan in the ghost world. How can you be sure that it's him? There are many people with the surname Lan, but only Anaheim's people have the surname Lan and are so concerned about me. Sima Yue understood. They should have known Lung Feng's whereabouts long ago and wanted me to come over. But I've been in the insect all these years, so he couldn't send the news to me. Then, he asked you to investigate and send the news to me. Who knew that I actually poisoned Lan Yu? So he could only send this news in exchange for his antidote. Otherwise, how could he send the news over in such a short time? That's true. Fushi nodded. If he didn't prepare, he couldn't have sent the news over so quickly. In that case, the matter of Ghost Concubine buying the sponge was also fake? We can't be sure. Sima Yue said, Giorgio, have you confirmed Lung Feng's whereabouts? Are they really here, or is it just a rumor that they spread? Di Giorgio understood what was going on. So there were so many things that she wanted to do by coming here at this time. We've already confirmed it. They are indeed here. Giorgio said, but because that place is too strict, if we force our way in, there will be too many casualties and we might not be able to save them safely. So we're still waiting for the general's orders. I didn't expect the little princess to come at this time. Then are you still waiting for cousin's orders? Sima Yue asked. The general said that as long as the little princess is here, your orders will take precedence. 99 said, that's good. Sima Yue nodded. Tell us more about the situation here. Yes. Di Giugio told her about the situation in Dark Sea City, giving her a rough idea. Lung Feng and the others came to the Nether Sea City 100 years ago. They wanted to go to the infernal hell through this city, but they were captured by Silmer and made into able-bodied men. The term able-bodied man was a common term used by Sima Yue. In fact, it meant to capture people like them who had just arrived and had yet to pay protection fees to the powerful figures of the Ghost Clan for their own use. Some were caught for fighting, some were caught for mining, and some were used for other unspeakable purposes. Lung Feng and the others were relatively lucky. They were only caught to mine and do manual labor. At least, they were not in great danger, nor were they mentally devastated. However, this was the lowest place, so there were many people guarding here and supervising their work. Most of their spiritual power was sealed, so they could only use it for mining. They could not fight against these people at all, so they could not escape after so many years. His mine is really big. After so many years of mining, he still hasn't finished it. Fushi sighed. There are many mineral veins near the infernal hell. Because of this, the people of the infernal hell have a higher status here than the people of the other two clans. No one else went to rob those mineral veins? How could no one not want a share of this kind of thing? But the people of the infernal hell guarded it very strictly and captured many people to guard it, so they were all killed in the end. Only the two powerful figures of the Ghost Clan and the Soul Clan can have some. Even the people of the Ghost Clan and the Soul Clan can't do anything about it. This place is really not easy to break into. Sima US slowly knocked on the table. We'd better investigate again, and we have to guard against the people of the Anaheim. Wu Lingyu said. Ghost Concubine's people had thought of all sorts of ways to get her here. They would not do nothing. And they were in the light, while the other party was in the dark. They could not guess what the other party would do. Then, this subordinate will send people to investigate the specific situation of the mine. 99 said, Okay, you guys be careful. Sima US said. 99 agreed and left. Now there was finally something to do. It was boring waiting here. Yue, are these people reliable? Fushi put the peeled walnut into his mouth and took a bite. In his opinion, it was very unwise to make such a big fuss over her mother's guards. However, he was also touched by her feelings. The people of the D family are all capable. Sima US said, I believe they will bring more information. Then we'll just wait here? I see that the people here seem to be interested in us. Do you want to go out and play? Okay. Sima Yue also felt that the people of Ming High City were a little strange. She wanted to go out and see what was going on. They rested for a while and went out. The shopkeeper said that they wanted to go shopping and enthusiastically introduced them to the places worth visiting. The busiest place was the business street. They were not interested in it first, but the shopkeeper said that there were many things that only the Avicii Hell had. This made them interested. Sima Yue learned a lot of herbs from the Avicii Hell when she was in the Yin sect. It was very effective for refining pills. Now was the time to take a look. The three of them went to the pharmacy. There were many herbs here. Because the three races lived together, there were many herbs from the Soul Society. The shopkeeper saw that they were extraordinary and knew that they were important guests. He smiled and welcomed them. What do you want to see? I want to see the herbs from the Avicii Hell. Those are on the second floor. Please follow me. The shopkeeper brought them up. Sima Yue walked around and chose some herbs. Just as she was about to pay the bill, a hand reached over and took one of the herbs. The person said, I want this. The person at the counter was already calculating the bill for her. He had no choice but to stop. Sima Yue's face darkened. I chose this. The other party was a man who was almost 2 meters tall. When he heard Sima Yue's words, he looked at her with contempt and said arrogantly, I know. I just asked. This is the last rainbow dendrobium. I need it, so I want it. I don't intend to give it to you. Sima Yue grabbed his wrist and pressed on the acupuncture point on his wrist. Ah, the man felt pain in his hand and let go. The rainbow dendrobium fell into Yue's hand. Chapter 2056. The news of Silmer returning to the infernal hell was confirmed once again when Yue visited his residence. He gave her his contact number in the infernal hell. What about the people here if the Venerable One returns? Sima Yue asked. Someone else will take over after I leave. You don't have to worry about their safety. But there should be chaos for a while, Silmer replied. I've stayed here for too long. I used to want to enjoy the environment here, but now I realize that I've trapped myself here for too long. Then when will you go back? After you leave. You've caused such a huge commotion here, and so many people have died. Nether Sea City will undergo a huge change. If I leave again, this city will probably be turned upside down. As the protector of a region, Silmer had accepted the offerings of the people below him, so he naturally had to think for them. Ahem. Sima Yue was a little embarrassed. She didn't want to be so high profile, but Blue River had provoked her. Silmer glanced at her, and the corners of his mouth curled up. She really did look like her mother. 10 days later, Sima Yue handed a thick recipe book to Xiao Ling. Xiao Ling looked at the recipe book and was a little confused. Master, how many dishes do you have? He thought that after learning from her for so long, he should have learned most of them. He didn't expect there to be so many. There should be a few hundred, Sima Yue said. Some of them are things I've already taught you, and some are things I haven't told you yet. The ones I didn't tell you are quite simple. You just need to follow the recipe. Xiao Ling understood that because she couldn't be by his side to teach him, she had taught him all her skills. Master, thank you. He looked at her, touched. The recipe book in his hands was unusually heavy. Although we haven't been together for a long time, I hope that your dishes are like your character. Yes, your disciple will follow Master's instructions. Xiao Ling bowed. Sima Yue nodded in satisfaction. Master, you didn't answer me when I asked you if you would go to the Infernal Realm. Xiao Ling said. At _250_ left, I will. Sima Yue said. Although I don't know when, I will definitely go. Then I'll go back to open a restaurant. Master, you must come. Xiao Ling felt motivated again. The restaurant must have good wine. Sima Yue handed him another book. Xiao Ling took the booklet. Compared to the thick recipe book, this one was much lighter. He didn't ask what was inside. He opened it directly. After reading the contents, he said excitedly, Master, is this how you brew fruit wine? Yes. Sima Yue said. Because of time constraints, I didn't write too many categories. But I think with your ability, you should have no problem deducing other things from one example. With this method, he could try brewing other kinds of spirit fruits by himself in the future. Master, I will definitely brew fruit wine that tastes as good as those. Xiao Ling said excitedly as he held the recipe and wine book in his hands. Okay, I'll be waiting. I hope I can drink your fruit wine the next time we meet. Sima Yue said with a smile. Don't worry, I will. Xiao Ling answered with certainty. Although there is a lot of spiritual power in the dishes, you can't just rely on it. Your main life is still cultivation. Sima Yue said. Only by living longer will you have more time to cook. Xiao Ling was shocked. In the past, people had told him that cooking was useless and that he shouldn't spend too much time on it. They even said that he was wasting his time and would regret it sooner or later. His parents saw that he was obsessed with cooking and his strength was growing slowly. They were very anxious and wanted to stop him from doing so. That was why they threw him to his uncle. Fortunately, his uncle didn't care about him, and he had more freedom here. He opened a restaurant, and no one would nag him every day when he cooked. He always felt that he was pursuing his dream by doing this. Even if his strength grew slowly, he didn't care. Wasn't the purpose of life to pursue one's dream? Therefore, he never regretted that he had neglected his cultivation. However, her words enlightened him, and the resistance he had towards cultivation, all this while vanished into thin air. Master's words made sense. The higher one's strength, the longer one could live. Wouldn't that mean that he could cook for a longer time? In that case, he would have to spend more time on cultivation when he returned. Moreover, as long as he was willing to cultivate, his mother and the others wouldn't stop him from cooking. Previously, he was worried that he would have to spend a lot of effort to open a restaurant. Now, he didn't have to worry anymore. He took out a token and handed it to Sima Yue. Master, take this token. When you go to Avicii Hell in the future, you can use all the people and items in the shops with this token. Sima Yue accepted it. Although she might not use it, the other party would feel that she had accepted it. Come to think of it, she had received many tokens like this, but she had never used them. Xiao Ling sent them out of Nether Sea City. Seeing them leave, he put away his reluctance and returned to the city to look for Silmer. Silmer had already arranged everything here. He said that he was waiting for them to leave for the safety of the city, but in fact, it was just so that she wouldn't overthink it. She was his daughter, and he still had to protect her. Uncle, Master has left, Xiao Ling said. Let's go as well. Silmer took out a round disc and infused it with spiritual power. The light emitted from the disc formed a passage in the air. When the passage was completely formed, he put away the disc and walked in first. Xiaoling followed them in, followed by their guards and manservants. When the light dissipated, they all left. The tripartite alliance that had been formed in Nethersea City for many years was gone. Su Wu and the others felt at the moment Silmer left. Although they didn't know why he left, their instincts told them that it had something to do with Sima Yue. She really muddied the waters of Nethersea City. He sighed, but this also gave him a chance. The tripartite alliance was broken. From now on, it would be a battle of two sides. He had to be even faster and get ahead of them. When the situation in Nethersea City changed, the people in the city finally realized how much Sima Yue's arrival had affected them. Sima Yue and the others rushed all the way from Nethersea City to the imperial capital. Dija had already found out where Sponge was. Sima Yue brought Lung Feng and the others back to Fanghua Palace. Soon, Dija, who had received the news, came to find her. When Lung Yun saw her brother, she was so excited that she couldn't speak. The others were also excited. They didn't expect to see each other again in this life. Sima Yue asked them to have a good chat while she and Diju went to her mother's study room. Chapter 2057. Sima Yue came to time, ordered a table full of delicious dishes, and then commented on them one by one. You shouldn't use an open flame for barbecue. You should roast it slowly with charcoal. This way, it will be crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. It's not right to cook your fish this way. If you cook it with oil, the meat will become very tough. This fish, she commented on all the dishes, and the head chef was so angry that he ran to her room and scolded her. You're so clear and logical. Do you know how to cook well? The head chef was so angry that anyone would be angry. Since I can say it, I can do it. Sima Yue said, I heard that Time's food was very good, so I came here. I didn't expect to eat something of this level. Although the food from other places is delicious, it's far from its reputation. What arrogance! The head chef sneered. Do you think that your food is better than mine? I have his confidence. Sima Yue replied without hesitation. Young man, it's not good to be too proud. The people at the door finally couldn't help but say, Head Chef Xiao is the best chef in Minghai City. Not only are his dishes delicious, but they can also increase one's spiritual power after eating them. Some of them can even increase one's cultivation speed. Can the food you cook have such an effect? Do you have the ability to compare with Head Chef Xiao? You haven't seen me cook, and you haven't eaten my food. How do you know that I don't have the ability? Sima Yue asked back. You're a little old. We've eaten more salt than you've eaten rice. Little girls like you should just go back obediently. Don't make Head Chef Xiao unhappy, or he won't cook any more dishes. Yes, you'd better apologize to Head Chef Xiao quickly. Xiao Ling saw that these people were speaking up for him. He crossed his arms and looked at Sima Yue arrogantly, waiting for her to apologize to him. Hee hee. Sima Yue smiled and faintly spat out 3 words. Impossible. Little girl, don't be too presumptuous. I'm already being merciful by giving you a chance to apologize and not throwing you out. If you continue like this, I'll have someone kick you out right now. You'll never be allowed to enter Time Incense's door again. Sima Yue was not in a hurry. She continued to say, You haven't tried my cooking before. How do you know it's not as good as yours? You want to follow me? Xiao Ling understood what she meant. It turned out that today, he didn't meet someone who wanted to ruin his place, but someone who wanted to challenge him. Initially, I just wanted to taste the delicacies here, but I couldn't help but criticize you when I saw how you were ruining the food. However, you keep saying that I'm not qualified to comment on your dishes, and that I'm speaking without thinking. If I don't prove it, wouldn't it be like what you said? Hee hee, after so many years, no one has dared to challenge me. Xiao Gao laughed. If the food you make tastes good, then I'll let bygones be bygones. I'll even exempt you from today's meal. If your cooking isn't as good as mine, then you have to apologize to me. Okay, Sima Yue agreed. You're still young, so I'll let you decide the content of the competition. Tell me, what do you want? Xiaoling said confidently. Sima Yue glanced at the dishes on the table and said, let's do it according to this table. Stir-fried, stewed, fried, braised, stewed. We'll each have a portion. Whoever wins half of it wins. How about that? Xiaoling saw that she was full of confidence and nodded. Okay, since it's a competition, then we have to invite a fair judge. Otherwise, it won't be so simple to decide who's good and who's bad. Okay, Xiaoling agreed. Since it was a fair competition, then they had to choose a fair judge. He didn't want people to say that he was the one who took advantage of the situation. Then let's go find a judge. No need. I know a fair judge. Xiaoling brought Sima Yue to the top floor. He knocked on the door and entered after getting a response. Supremacy Seer, I'm very sorry to disturb your meal. Xiaoling said apologetically. Sima Yue looked over and saw a handsome man sitting at the dining table with a table full of delicious food in front of him. His expression was calm. Although he ate everything, he didn't seem to be enjoying it like a glutton. Xiaoling, you want me to be your judge? Do you think I can eat just anyone's food? Seer looked up at Sima Yue. Supremacy, don't be angry. Most of what this little girl said makes sense. I think her food won't be too bad. Try a different person's food. Maybe it'll give you a different feeling. Xiaoling said with a smile. Sima Yue felt that his words were a little strange. Or rather, this person who was rumored to be interested in food gave her a strange feeling. There was no telling what Silmer was thinking. After a moment of silence, he nodded and said, all right, I can be your referee. Then let's go down and prepare. Xiaoling led her away. From beginning to end, she didn't say a word to Seer. The news that a little girl was going to compete with Chef Xiao quickly spread. Especially when Seer was said to be the judge, many people rushed to Bailey Xiang. Isn't this the little girl who hit Master Hua? She's young and frivolous. She hit Master Hua, provoked Supremacy Su, and now she's provoking Chef Xiao. She's the one who sent Supremacy Su's guard flying. It's not her, it's the people around her. But she must have asked them to do it. TSK, this little girl has guts. She offended Supremacy Su and provoked Chef Xiao. She doesn't want to stay in Nethersea City anymore, does she? Maybe she's someone with a background. Otherwise, why would she do this? She's so young. How can her food taste good? This has nothing to do with age, right? Maybe she can make something delicious. I think this little girl is better. Newborn calves aren't afraid of tigers. Supremacy Seer is coming down. Seer slowly walked down the stairs. The lively Bailey Xiang's hall immediately quieted down. He came to the prepared chair and sat down without saying a word. So cold, Sima Yue commented in her heart. As if he had sensed her gaze, Silmer looked over. His gaze was so cold that she wondered if he had seen through something. In order to let everyone see clearly, Xiaoling removed all the tables in the hall and set up his own stove. With this array, only the kitchen was left. Sima Yue also took out her pots and pans. Compared to Xiaoling's, it was pitifully simple. Chapter 2058. Xiaoling looked at her pots and asked in surprise, "That's all you have?" Sima Yue nodded. "That's enough." Her ingredients were less than a third of Xiaoling's, but when she looked carefully, she didn't lack anything. "You could take any ingredients you want to make, or you can use your own ingredients," Xiaoling said. Sima Yue saw that the ingredients were all the same and said, "Let's use the same ingredients. That way, we can compare who's cooking better." Okay. Xiaoling also wanted to do the same. The same ingredients and the same cooking. That way, it would be better to compare the taste of the two. He let Sima Yue choose the ingredients first, and Sima Yue didn't stand on ceremony. Although this person looked arrogant, he was still a good person. He was angry before because someone questioned his cooking. Now that they were going to have a fair competition in his territory, his performance was commendable. She chose the ingredients and quickly cleaned them up. Seeing her smooth movements of washing and cutting the vegetables, and then looking at the ingredients she cut, Xiaoling's recognition of her increased by 2 points. This little girl still had some skills, but he didn't know if her cooking skills were proportional to her cutting skills. Silmer looked at Sima Yue preparing the ingredients, and the fingers on his knees tapped lightly. The guard at the side was surprised because he saw a relaxed expression on his master's face. He was actually so happy just watching someone cook. Sima Yue and Xiao Ling finished their preparations almost at the same time. They looked at each other and started cooking together. Stir-fry, stew, deep-fry, braise, and stew. The stew was first put into the pot, then the brine was boiled. Only then did the two of them start cooking. The two of them were about the same order, and the time for each dish was about the same. Because the two of them were so focused, the people who were watching the show slowly quieted down. Watching them cook was also a kind of enjoyment. At the same time, everyone recognized her cooking skills in their hearts. She really wasn't just talking about it. Although they hadn't eaten her dishes yet, they believed that her dishes wouldn't be too bad even if they weren't as good as head chef Zhao's. Soon, the first dish was ready. Xiao Ling put the dishes on 12 plates, and someone immediately brought his dishes to Merzi, and the other people Xiao Ling found to taste the dishes. Add _250 left. Because Xiao Ling was found, the rules were set according to Sima Yue. Including Silmer, there were a total of 10 people. Silmer had 20 points, while the others had 10 points. Everyone would try the dishes and give their points to Silmer's bodyguard for safekeeping. Only at the end of the day would the scores of each dish be tallied. Then there would be a dozen or so dishes. Whoever won the most dishes would be the winner. The 10 judges ate their dishes and gave their scores before the dishes were collected and handed over to Silmer. With Silmer here, no one dared to do anything. Also, no one knew the score of the others. Apart from Silmer's guard, no one knew the total score, so it wouldn't affect the score later. After finishing the first dish, Sima Yue's first dish was also ready. She put the dishes on 12 plates and carried them away. She continued to cook the next dish, as if she didn't care about the reactions of the judges at all. The onlookers were now focused on the faces of the judges, trying to judge the taste of Sima Yue's dish from their expressions. Silmer saw that there was only enough food for 2 mouthfuls on the snow-white porcelain plate, and felt that her portion was too small. However, the color looked brighter than Xiao Ling's. He wondered how it tasted. He picked up his chopsticks and tasted it. It tasted similar to Xiao Ling's. It was slightly better, but not by much. But it was rare for someone her age. Seeing that there was only 1 mouthful left on the plate, he felt that it was a bit of an eyesore, so he picked it up and ate it again. Venerable Silmer actually ate his second mouthful. He had only eaten 1 mouthful of head chef Zhao's dish just now. Could it be that Sima Yue's medicine was really better? The other 9 judges also took a second mouthful and realized that it was indeed much better. When they realized that they hadn't scored yet, they hurriedly gave their scores and had someone send it over. The other dishes were served one by one. The onlookers saw that the judges' expressions were getting more and more excited. They were even more curious about Sima Yue's dishes. When all the dishes were served, the expressions of the people who tasted the dishes were a little strange. All right, we can now add points to the scores, Silmer said. Sima Yue and Xiao Ling came to their respective tables. Their dishes were already placed on the table. When the judges were calculating the scores, it was time for the two of them to taste each other's dishes. Xiao Ling knew from the first bite that he had lost this time. Sima Yue was right. He wasn't as good at processing the ingredients as Sima Yue. Although some of the dishes tasted better, they weren't as good as hers. Before the final results were out, he had already put down his chopsticks and said, "I lost." What was going on? The final results hadn't been announced yet, and he already admitted defeat? The final scores aren't out yet, Sima Yue said. You were right before, Xiao Ling said. The ingredients did taste better according to your method. The others were dumbfounded. He admitted defeat so easily. Most importantly, head chef Xiao had actually admitted defeat. Silmer took the results from the guard and looked up at the two of them. Do you still want to announce the results? Announce it. Everyone has been waiting for so long, Xiao Ling said. All right, Silmer handed the results to the guard. The guard opened the results and read, Sima Yue, 10 wins and 6 losses. Xiaoling, 10 losses and 6 wins. It was actually 10 losses and 6 wins. Xiaoling wasn't surprised by this result. He waved his hand and got the people from 100 Mile Incense to clean up the place. Then he came in front of Sima Yu and bowed deeply, saying, "I admit that I've lost. The food you make is indeed better than mine. The way you handle the ingredients is also better." Sima Yue felt a little embarrassed when he admitted defeat with such sincerity. She smiled and said, "You've handled it very well. You just need to improve a little bit. I was too arrogant before. I thought that my cooking was the best. After today's competition, I know that I'm not good enough," Xiaoling said. "So, I want to ask you to be my master. Let me learn how to cook from you." We only made a dozen dishes. You don't have to do this, right?" Sima Yue declined politely. "If you can make these dishes, you can make other dishes as well. Just let me learn from you, master," Xiaoling pleaded. Chapter 2059. Sima Yue did not agree. She had no intention of taking in a disciple. "I won't be here for long. I can't teach you anything." She shook her head. "It's okay. As long as I can learn how to cook, I can follow you. But it's inconvenient for me if you follow me. I don't care. If you win, you'll be my master." Xiaoling acted shamelessly. "Are all the people who win against you your master? No one has ever won against me. You're the first." Sima Yue was speechless. If you don't agree, he won't give up. This was the second sentence Silmer said since he went downstairs. Sima Yue did not expect him to speak. She looked at him in surprise. Silmer did not say anything. He took the tea from the guard and lowered his head to taste it. She retracted her gaze and saw Xiao Xiu looking at her expectantly. Xiao Xiu's fervent gaze was filled with love for the food, and she couldn't bear to refuse. "But you won't be able to learn anything if you follow me. Won't you be a disciple for nothing? I'll still be a master if I learn a little. A master for a day is a father for life. No, a mother." Xiaoling did not look like a straightforward man. "Okay, I can teach you how to cook, but forget about being a father or a mother." Sima Yue said, "I'll teach you everything I know while you're here. It's up to you how much you can learn. We'll see if you still want to acknowledge me as your master." "Thank you, master." Xiaoling immediately bowed and kowtowed to her. "Since it's over, I'll go back first." Silmer said, "Xiaoling, bring your master to my residence tomorrow." "Yes, Supremacy." Before Silmer left, he glanced at Sima Yue. His eyes seemed to have seen through something. Sima Yue had nowhere to hide. She cleared her throat and said, "I won't be here for long. I'll teach you a few things today." "Okay, let's go to the kitchen," Xiaoling said excitedly. Sima Yue's best dishes were not the dishes she made today. She only chose them for comparison. When she went to the kitchen to show them her specialty barbecued meat, medicinal cuisine, Sichuan cuisine, Cantonese cuisine, Xiao Qi's eyes widened. Sure enough, his master was really amazing. Sima Yu saw that it was getting late, and Wu Lingyu and Fu Shi were waiting for her. Since she had nothing to do, she said to Xiaoling, "I'll teach you these first. You can learn the rest later." Xiaoling learned a few new dishes and was already very happy. He couldn't wait to try them. Seeing that Sima Yu was about to leave, he put down the ingredients in his hands and sent her out from the back door. He also reminded her to go to Silmer's place the next day. I feel like Silmer knows something. On the way back, Sima Yu told him what she felt. It seems so. I saw that he didn't even look at the others after he came down, but he kept looking at you cooking. He even spoke. Fushi said. Wu Lingyu did not say anything, but he could feel it too. I feel like he knows something from the way he looks at me. Why else would he ask me to go tomorrow? Don't tell me I'm going to cook for him? Sima Yue said. Wu Lingyu held her hand. You'll know when you get there. Sima Yue smiled at him. The next morning, Xiaoling went to the inn to find her. The luxurious beast carriage stopped at the entrance and immediately attracted a lot of attention. Xiaoling got down from the beast carriage and shouted as soon as he entered the inn. Master, I'm here to pick you up. Are you ready? Sima Yue, Wu Lingyu, and Fushi came from the backyard. Xiaoling saw her and immediately went to greet her. Master, are you ready? I'm ready. We can go now. Sima Yue said. Then let's go. Xiaoling brought them to the beast carriage and started talking about the dishes he made according to her instructions last night. He even brought some for her to try. Sima Yue listened to him and ate the dishes he made. She also pointed out his shortcomings. The two of them chatted all the way to Silmer Mansion. The guards at the entrance saw Xiaoling's beast carriage and went to greet him. Young Master Xiao, what is the Venerable One doing? Xiaoling got down from the beast carriage and wanted to help Sima Yue, but Wu Lingyu had already helped her out. He's drinking tea in the West Garden. The guard replied. West Garden again. Xiaoling sighed. Go do your thing. We'll go there ourselves. Yes, young Master Xiao. Sima Yue followed Xiao Ling around Silmer Mansion. Seeing that he was familiar with the place, she asked, Are you close to the Venerable One? Yes, he's my uncle, Xiao Ling said. But the people here don't know. I'm only telling you because you're my master. Don't tell anyone. Silmer is your uncle. Sima Yue and Fushi shouted at the same time. They even forgot to call him the Venerable One. Ahem, this news is a bit hard to accept. Xiao Ling touched the back of his head and looked at them apologetically. But you can't call your uncle's name like that. Oh, Fushi nodded. You're Silmer, the Venerable One's nephew. This is too surprising. My mother and the others wanted me to come here to gain experience. But I only like to cook, so I opened a restaurant here. Xiao Ling said. My uncle wants to watch over me, so he often goes to time. Actually, my uncle doesn't like to eat as much as the people outside. He spread the news because he wanted to see me. I see. No wonder I felt strange when I saw him yesterday. Sima Yue finally understood her doubts. I knew I couldn't hide it from you, Master. People who love food can tell how their customers feel about food at a glance. Xiao Ling wasn't surprised at all. Is your uncle easy to talk to? Sima Yue asked. How should I say this? It depends. If he's in a good mood, he's easier to talk to, Xiao Ling said. But he's in West Park today, so he's probably not in a good mood. Why? I don't know. But every time he's in West Park, he's always in a bad mood, Xiao Ling said. West Park was built after he left. The structure is very different from other places. My uncle only goes there occasionally. I don't know why he's here to see you today. What he said yesterday might seem like he wanted them to cook for him, but Xiao Ling knew that he wanted to see Sima Yue. They went to the West Garden and met Silmer, who was sipping tea alone, in a pavilion on a rockery. Seeing them come over, Silver immediately saw her walking in the middle. Uncle. Xiao Ling bowed obediently. Greetings, Venerable One. Sima Yue and the other two bowed as well. Silmer looked at her and said, Tell me, what's your purpose? Chapter 2060. As expected, he knew. Sima Yue thought to herself. Uncle, what are you talking about? Xiao Ling looked at Silmer suspiciously. You're stupid. That's why you can't tell, Silmer said coldly. Do you think she came to you on purpose yesterday? Didn't she say it because she didn't like my food? Xiao Ling asked suspiciously. Ask her, Silmer said. Sima Yue didn't intend to deny it after being exposed. She said apologetically. I didn't want to cause trouble for you at first. I just wanted to attract Supremacy Silmer's attention. And then? Xiao Ling asked. Huh? What then? Sima Yue asked. And then what happened after I attracted her attention? You taught me how to cook. Of course I taught you with all my heart, Sima Yue said. It was fine if she didn't agree, but once she did, she naturally treated him like a disciple. Then it's nothing, Xiao Ling said. You're still my master. That's it. That's it. Aren't you angry? Why should I be angry? You weren't wrong in the beginning. I was being irresponsible with the ingredients, Xiao Ling said. Xiao Gao said, Besides, you taught me seriously after that. It's just that I learned a lot last night. So what does it matter what your original intention was? Sima Yue and Fushi stared at him with their eyes wide open. What would they say? That he was too nice? Actually, I should thank you for your original intention. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to find a master like you, Xiao Ling said with a smile. Uncle, don't blame Master for this. I didn't intend to say anything about this. Otherwise, she wouldn't have become your master yesterday, Silmer said. Then why are you so shocked, Uncle? You scared me and Master. Xiaoling was actually very protective of his own people. Xiaoling, how long have you known her? Why are you so protective of her? Silmer's face darkened. He looked a little scary. She's my master. Of course I'll protect her. Xiaoling stood up to protect her. Useless. Silmer's tone was indifferent. It was impossible to tell if he was angry or not. He looked at Sima Yue and said, "Now you can tell me your purpose. Why did you attract my attention? Who asked you to come? What's your purpose?" "No one asked me to come. I was the one who wanted to talk to you." Sima Yue said, "Oh, what is it that could make the little princess of the ghost realm come here personally to find me?" In just one night, he had already found out her identity. "Actually, I'm here to ask for a favor," Sima Yue said. "A few of us have been captured by your men. I would like to ask you to be merciful and release them." "When did this happen?" "I remember that uncle hasn't arrested anyone for a long time." Xiao Pei asked. 100 years ago. As far as I know, you have only been in the ghost realm for less than 50 years. If that was the case, how could her guard have been captured here 100 years ago? They are my bodyguards. To be exact, they are my mother's men. Now that my mother is not here, I have to be responsible for her men. Sima Yue did not hide anything. For someone like Silmer, it was useless to hide anything from him. She might as well tell him the truth. "Your mother's men." Silmer's cold aura subsided a lot. "What are their names? Where are they now? You should have found out about this, right?" "I know they are." Sima Yue told Silmer the information of Lung Feng and the others. Before Silmer could say anything, his guard had already gone to do it. "Master, so you came to find Uncle for this." Xiao Pei said, "You should have told me earlier. I could have gone to get them out for you." "I didn't know that Sir Silmer was so easy to talk to." Sima Yue said, "Because there are other people involved, so I thought that there would be a fight." "What do you mean by other people involved?" Xiao Pei asked. "Someone told me this news. He wanted me to go to the mine to save people so that I could fight with Sir Silmer. It would be best if Sir Silmer could kill me personally." Sima Yue said, "He even dared to scheme against me. He is quite bold." Silmer sneered. "Who is so vicious?" Xiao Pei yelled, "Master, tell me. I will help you to kill him. They are not that easy to deal with." Sima Yue said, "It is not that you are weak, but you are from the abyss of hell. He is one of the Anaheim's men, and he is following the Anaheim's orders. Once you get involved, it will become a matter of two different areas. He is scheming against Uncle. We can no longer ignore it, right, Uncle?" Xiao Pei wanted to get approval, but when he saw Silmer staring at him, he could not help but shrink his neck. Silmer looked at his only nephew helplessly. It was said that a grown son could not be controlled by his mother. Now that his nephew had grown up, he came back to scheme against him. Although he did not want to tolerate this kind of thing, Xiao Pei said it in such a dignified manner. Wasn't it just to get him to help Sima Yue? Yue is already very grateful that Sir Silmer allowed Coldwind and the others to come out. Sima Yue said, "These people schemed against me. Naturally, I will not let them go." "You don't want me to help you? There is no need to trouble Sir Silmer." Sima Yue smiled. "But if Sir Silmer wants to do something, Yue can't do anything about it." Blue River's scheme against her had indeed included Silmer. If he wanted to care, then whatever he did to them had nothing to do with her. She did not want to accept this favor. Silmer nodded and did not continue this topic. "I heard that you're very good at making tea. I wonder if we will be able to taste the tea you personally made today? Sir Silmer has made it very convenient for me. Naturally, I cannot refuse this suggestion." Yue and the others walked to the fake mountain. She made a pot of tea for everyone. Xiao Pei saw that her method of making tea was very novel, and the taste of the tea was very good. He immediately learned from her. While they were drinking tea, Coldwind and the other 6 people were brought in. When they saw Sima Yue, they immediately knelt down and said excitedly and shamefully, "Princess, are you all right?" They had not seen Yukelio for many years. The two looked so similar that they mistook her for her mother. They were all wearing new clothes and had shaved, but their sunken cheeks and skinny bodies showed what kind of life they had been living these past few years. "I'm not mother. My name is Sima Yue. I'm mother's daughter." Sima Yue said, "You are the little princess?" They knew that Ukeluo had a daughter in the human world. They did not think that the person they would see after leaving that place would be her. I know that you have a lot of questions. I will tell you in detail when we return. Sima Yue looked at Silmer and said, "Can I bring them away now?" Chapter 2061. She didn't know why, but she felt that Silmer gave her a strange feeling. It wasn't the feeling that a venerable should have. Lung Feng and the others didn't seem to be in good condition, so she wanted to bring them back for a checkup. Silmer was too easy to talk to, which made her feel that it was unreal. "Sure," Silmer nodded, "but there's something I haven't asked you yet. Come back after you've dealt with this." Sima Yue didn't know what he wanted to ask her, but she still nodded and agreed. Xiao Gao wanted to leave with her, but Silmer made him stay. Sima Yue left with the group. When they returned to the inn, she gave him a checkup. "Little princess, how did you know we were here?" Lung Feng couldn't help but ask after seeing her treat them so well. "We've been looking for you for many years, but to be honest, it was someone else who told me where you were." Sima Yue answered while taking their pulse. Lung Feng didn't know that it was Blue River's scheme, so he didn't continue asking. He said emotionally, "Thank you, little princess, for saving us. It's a pity that we haven't found the princess yet. You don't have to worry about Mother right now. I know where she is. What you need to do now is to take care of your bodies. Your bodies have suffered a lot in the past 100 years, and it's already affected your cultivation. If you don't take care of yourself, I'm afraid that you'll stop here. Lung Yun and the others are still waiting for you in the palace. Are they doing well in the palace? Better than you. You can talk about it when you meet. I'll go prescribe some medicine for you right now. You can ask Fuxi about other things." She and Wu Lingyu went to concoct medicine to take care of their bodies. Fuxi stayed behind to ask about the situation and answer questions. By the time she returned, the two sides had pretty much understood the situation. Lung Feng and the other situation was very simple. They received news that Ukeluo was in Abyss and came here, but were caught by Silmer's people. When they found out that Sima Yue had spent so much effort to find them, they were extremely moved. When they found out about what Blue River and Anaheim had done to her and their current relationship, they expressed that they must take care of themselves so that they could help her in the future. When Di Jujio heard the news and rushed over, he could not believe what he had seen. He pulled Sima Yue to the side and asked softly, "Little princess, are they really Lung Yun and the others?" Sima Yue was amused by his reaction. "Shouldn't you know what they look like? But it could also be a disguise or something. What if someone is pretending to be him?" Di Jujio said worriedly. "These people are them. Don't worry about that." Sima Yue said, "Really? There is a secret signal between Lung Feng and Lung Yun. I have checked the secret signal." Sima Yue gave him a reassuring expression. Hearing her say this, 99 was relieved, but then she became worried. "Little princess, he handed the person over to you so easily. Could there be some conspiracy?" When he saw Sima Yue's helpless expression, he felt helpless too. It wasn't that he wanted to worry about these things, but this matter was too inconceivable. How could Sima Yue hand the person over? If it was so easy, they wouldn't have to do so many things. No matter how he thought about it, he felt that this matter was not peaceful, so he could only think in this way. "I find that you like to think more than Di Lu." Sima Yue rolled her eyes. "Xiao Ling helped me to mention this matter. You know that he is close to Sima Yue, and he is also very good to me, his master. As soon as I mentioned it, he helped me to ask for the person." Sima Yue thought that Sima Yue was right, that Sima Yue was willing to let the person go because she was Xiao Ling's master. As for their relationship, it was better to keep it secret. Di Jujio was completely relieved. As long as there was no danger, it was fine. Lung Feng and the others are not in good health. I have to nurse them and teach Xiao Ling how to cook, so I will stay here for a few days. Do you want to go back now, or go back with us? We want to protect the little princess and go back. Di Jujio expressed actively. Although his master didn't say so, he also meant it. "That's good. I can ask you to help me investigate some things here." Sima Yue agreed to let them go, so she didn't hesitate to order them around. Di Giorgio became spirited. What is it, little princess? Please tell us. Since Blue River lured you here, there must be people here doing something. Go and investigate those people. We will give him a big gift. Sima Yue smiled after she finished speaking. When Fushi saw her smile, he knew that someone was going to be unlucky. The last time he smiled like this was when he was going to deal with Mo Wei. It was the same smile, the same words. Last time, Mo Wei bound her master because of kindness, but she was forced to leave the Een sect. This time, Blue River was her enemy. This big gift was something to look forward to. Little Princess is right. There are some people here who are Blue River's people. Before, we were thinking of ways to save Long Feng and the others, so we didn't pay much attention to them. Now that they have been rescued, we have the time and energy to deal with them. Di Giorgio followed a killing god like Di Jia. Naturally, he wasn't a good person. Taking revenge for the smallest grievance was a common trait in the Di family army. If Sima Yue didn't become Shaoling's master, and if he didn't have a good relationship with Silmer, they would have had to pay a huge price to save Long Feng and the others. Therefore, when Sima Yue said that she wanted to deal with those people, he was more than happy to do so. To be able to arrange such things in this place, their people must not be ordinary. Tell everyone to be careful, and be careful. Sima Yue warned. Okay, then I will take my leave. Go. Di Giorgio left. Sima Yue saw Fushi's sneaky smile and poured cold water on him. You can only stay here. Those things have nothing to do with you. He wasn't from this continent, and he had the Dragon God's order. No matter where he was, he had to keep a low profile. Regarding these matters, he could only watch and not participate in it in a high-profile manner. Even if I can't fight, I can watch the show. It's not bad, Fushi said. He saw Sima Yue walking out alone and asked, Where are you going? To find Silmer. You're going alone? Where's Brother Lingyu? He's refining pills for them. You have to stay here and protect their safety. I'm going to Silmer. I have some things to ask him. That you're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.